When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk, people. When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk, people. When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z.
This is Make We Talk breaking news. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Bangarang in the Parliament of Jamaica. Hold a minute. This is Make We Talk breaking news. Welcome to the Make We Talk program, special edition. News just coming into us. Prime Minister Andrew Holness and the government side walked out of the Parliament during the budget debate of opposition leader Mark Golding. Mr. Golding ruffles the feathers of the Andrew Holness administration in the Parliament in his budget debate. My. The Parliament of Jamaica is in uproar at the moment. Prime Minister Michael Andrew Holness and the entire Parliament walked out of the opposition leader budget debate speech. He ruffled the feathers of the Andrew Holness administration this afternoon in the parliament. Let's listen to what Mr. Golden had to say in the parliament a short while ago.
Came to office in 2016, no less than 8 ministers have been forced to resign or have been otherwise sanctioned for a range of serious breaches, and Jamaica continues to rank poorly on international corruption indices. The move in 2020 to take away the chairmanship of most parliamentary committees from the opposition has weakened that mechanism of holding government to account. The maneuvers to delay the tabling of reports from the Auditor General and the Integrity Commission remains a contentious matter, especially since the legal opinion on which this delay is purportedly based has been withheld from parliamentarians and the wider public. When the former speaker was forced to resign as a result of an Integrity Commission investigation, the move to replace her with the wife of the Prime Minister, so that the head of parliament is now the spouse of the head of government, really does not sit well with the tradition that the speaker must act independently of the government of the day. The speaker is intended to be independent and must act independently of the government of the day. That is the tradition. That is the tradition. The failure. Mr. Speaker.
Members.
The failure to identify the so-called illicit 6 MPs.
The Prime Minister fire you, both sides. The Prime Minister fire you, both sides. The Prime Minister fire you. The Prime Minister fire you, both sides. Both sides.
The failure to disclose the identity of the so-called illicit 6 MPs who are under investigation by the Integrity Commission for illicit enrichment.
Member. Both sides. We can't continue.
At this time,
Both sides. The Prime Minister fire you, both sides.
at this time, there's by number.
The question must be asked this afternoon, though, my viewers. Why Marky G? Why Marky G? Why the opposition leader? Budget debate, his speech ruffles the feathers of Deadman Mackenzie and Mrs. Warmington. Don't it say Mrs. Warmington said that she Is you not done with Andrew Holness and the Labour Party? What a banger going on in the Parliament. Mark Golden turn up the fire. Fire their moose tail. Them think a cool breeze. Yes, Mark Golden, you're listening to us, sir. Yes, Mark Golden, you're listening to us, sir. I appreciate it, sir. Turn up the fire. Hold on there, I'm going to listen to some more. Hold on there, this is funny. This happened if you just joined us. The Parliament of Jamaica descended into uproar. Where they walk out of the Parliament.
I will not continue in this. Some are asking members to be quiet. Thank you. Section 7 of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives of Jamaica says the quorum of a house and of a committee of the whole house shall consist of 16 members beside the person presiding. If at any time during a sitting of the house objection is validly taken by any member that there is not a quorum present, the person presiding shall direct members to be summoned, and if at the end of 5 minutes a quorum be not present, he shall adjourn the house without question put. If at any time during a sitting of committee of the house and the house object, and I read section 2, subsection 2 of section 7, and as it stands, I am now summoning members to come on the inside of the chamber, and we will wait for the 5 minutes.
In other words, members who are watching us, the viewers who are watching us, it is the law of the Parliament to summons members who walked out of the Parliament to come back in under the Constitution of Jamaica. If they don't come back in within 5 minutes, then they have to adjourn the House. If they don't come back within the next 5 minutes, they have to adjourn the House of Parliament. But what Mark Golden said today has gotten the Prime Minister of Jamaica very upset. And he shouted in the Parliament of Jamaica, said, low blow. Low blow for what, Mr. Prime Minister? The people of Jamaica are sick and fed up of the corruption that is going on in the country. Where your wife sit on, your wife, Mr. Prime Minister, your wife, Mr. Prime Minister, sit on tabling the report that was given to you. Your wife, Mr. Prime Minister. Refused to table. And I agree with Mark Golden. Step up the fire, Mr. Golden. You're standing up for the Jamaican people. You're standing up for the Jamaican people, Mr. Golden. And I agree with you, sir. Come on, people, share up this live. Share up the live, make everybody know. Breaking news. Mark Golden has ruffled the feather of the Andrew Holness administration this afternoon in the Parliament of Jamaica. They walked out of the Parliament. Never in the history of Jamaica this ever happened. Share up the live. Share up the live, everyone. Share the live up to everyone. I agree with you, Mr. Golden. The people of Jamaica must know what is going on in the Parliament. The Speaker of the House sit on the reports and refuse to table it. Who is illicit 6? Who is illicit 6? We're still waiting until they come back in the House to see what is going on. But based on what we just saw, opposition leader and president of the People's National Party, Mark Jefferson Golden, has ruffled, put up some fire fire there must tail and think a cool breeze here. Mr. Golden has ruffles the feather of the Prime Minister. We have another video to show you that never in the history of Jamaica a leader, opposition leader, have to be given his budget speech outside the Parliament of Jamaica. The people of Jamaica must stand up and say enough is enough. Enough is enough. And I am happy. I am happy this afternoon that Mark Jefferson Golden, Mr. Mark Golden, has turned up the fire. Has turned up the fire on the Andrew Holness administration. Well, the two House leaders is coming back into the hall of the Parliament, the well of the Parliament. Philip Paulwell, opposition House leader, and we can see Babsy Grange, deputy assistant House leader for the government. And they're going to adjourn the Parliament. They're going to adjourn the Parliament. Never in the history of Jamaica, you have a wife who's a Speaker of the House and a husband who's a Prime Minister. And she refused to table the report that came to her. She sit on it. Mark Golden is listening. Mr. Mark Golden is listening to Reason with Rattigan and Make We Talk and Wayne Lonesome. Yes, Mr. Golden, the people of Jamaica is sick and tired of what is going on, the corruption of the Labour Party government. Let us wait and see what is going to happen in the Parliament, and we switch to the other video. It was a live feed, OT. It was a live feed earlier on today, OT. I was bringing the live feed to everyone. This is a live feed. My program now is a live feed. But the live feed from the Parliament was earlier on, about what, 10, 15 minutes ago?
This honorable house is now adjourned.
The Deputy Speaker has adjourned the House of Parliament, Garden House, the People's House, where Andrew Holness and his wife believe that the house belongs to them. There's another video I have to show you. Never in the history of Jamaica. Never in the history of Jamaica. Never in the history of... I wonder if I can get Wilfred Rattigan to come on to this. Let us see if I can get Mr. Rattigan to come on and speak to us. Never in the history of Jamaica have we seen a leader of opposition gave his budget speech outside the Parliament. Listen to this.
Period. All I can say to him, and I would have said it to him if we were still in the House, all I can say, if I were in your position, I would take with myself and hand over to someone else who is not compromised.
Yes.
Jamaica's iconic global track superstar, the Honorable Usain Bolt, and many other innocent investors were carried down in the scandalous SSL fiasco. And we can't hear anything about charges being brought against the culprits. I have been told that the DPP's office is dragging their feet when there are a number of people that the Financial Investigations Division are seeking to bring charges against. In fact, in August last year, the Gleaner carried a report that from the FID that there were several persons that they were intending to move against with charges. That report is no longer on the Gleaner website, but I am told that the DPP's office is dragging their feet on this. The Kroll forensic report, which has cost taxpayers millions of dollars, was delivered to the government months ago. It must be released to the public so we can see what the findings are. Jamaica will not accept a...
This is a burning disgrace. An opposition leader never in the history of Jamaica. a member of the Parliament of Jamaica has to give their budget presentation outside the Parliament of Jamaica because of the corruption of a government. I lift my hat to Mark Jefferson Golden this afternoon. Let's play back this again. I'm going to see if I can get Mr. Rattigan to come on.
Period. All I can say to him, and I would have said it to him if we were still in the house, all I can say, if I were in your position, I would take with myself and hand over to someone else who is not compromised.
Yes.
Jamaica's iconic global track superstar, the Honorable Usain Bolt, and many other innocent investors were carried down in the scandalous SSL fiasco. And we can't hear anything about charges being brought against the culprits. I have been told that the DPP's office is dragging their feet when there are a number of people that the Financial Investigations Division are seeking to bring charges against. In fact, in August last year, the Gleaner carried a report that from the FID that there were several persons that they were intending to move against with charges. That report is no longer on the Gleaner website, but I am told that the DPP's office is dragging their feet on this. The Kroll forensic report, which has cost taxpayers millions of dollars, was delivered to the government months ago. It must be released to the public so we can see what the findings are. Jamaica will not accept a period. All I can say to him, and I would have said it to him if we were still in the house, all I can say, if I were in your position, I would take with myself and hand over to someone else who is not compromised.
Yes. Never in the history of Jamaica, an opposition leader has to give his budget speech outside the Parliament of Jamaica. Mark Jefferson Golden ruffles the feathers of the HOLNESS administration this afternoon. Huh? And Mr. Golden went to the Parliament, the well of the Parliament this afternoon, and talk the truth, speak the truth of the level of corruption that is going on in the country. And because he said that, the government side walked out of the Parliament. Listen to what Mr. Golden said again, please. My. What is going on in Parliament? Listen to this.
And we are committed regionalists. So the dire situation in our close neighbor Haiti is of great concern to us. We commit ourselves fully to engagement in the regional efforts associated with that crisis and to reasserting Jamaica's constructive leadership role within CARICOM that has been allowed to atrophy over the past 8 years. A progressive, principled foreign policy delivers real positive change for our people. The Petro-Caribe oil financing arrangement and the San Jose Accord, which financed Portmore, are striking examples of what a progressive, principled foreign policy has done for our people in the past under the People's National Party. And that is what we are committed to locally and globally. Mr. Speaker, change at the national level must focus on good governance. In this modern era of pervasive information sharing and communications, good governance is increasingly essential to maintain the people's trust and confidence in our democracy. Citizens are demanding that their leaders uphold the highest standards of accountability, transparency, and trustworthiness. All the measures that I've outlined for implementation will only be possible if we change the approach to governance that now exists. I'll leave you with the ways, means, quality, and spirit of the change in governance that we commit to. And good governance isn't just a set of ideals. It is the foundation upon which an equitable and just society can be built. The People's National Party has always been committed to fulfilling these ideals, and we will translate these principles into tangible actions that uplift and empower every member of our society. Mr. Mr. Speaker, we are in an increasingly low trust environment. Since the JLP government came to office in 2016, no less than 8 ministers have been forced to resign or have been otherwise sanctioned for a range of serious breaches, and Jamaica continues to rank poorly on international corruption indices. The move in 2020 to take away the chairmanship of most parliamentary committees from the opposition has weakened that mechanism of holding government to account. The maneuvers to delay the tabling of reports from the Auditor General and the Integrity Commission remains a contentious matter, especially since the legal opinion on which this delay is purportedly based has been withheld from parliamentarians and the wider public. When the former speaker was forced to resign as a result of an Integrity Commission investigation, the move to replace her with the wife of the Prime Minister, so that the head of parliament is now the spouse of the head of government, really does not sit well with the tradition that the speaker must act independently of the government of the day. The speaker is intended to be independent and must act independently of the government of the day. That is the tradition. That is the tradition. The failure. Mr. Speaker.
Members.
Mr. Speaker, the failure to identify the so-called illicit 6 MPs.
The Prime Minister fire you, both sides. The Prime Minister fire you, both sides. The Prime Minister fire you.
Oh my God. You heard what Julian Robinson is telling Everett Warmington? The Prime Minister's fire you go outside, but isn't the same Everett Warmington said that he will not stand up for the Holness administration and the Labour Party anymore? Look at him. He's a disgrace to the Parliament. Get outside.
The Prime Minister fire you, both sides. Both sides.
The failure to disclose the identity of the so-called illicit 6 MPs who are under investigation by the Integrity Commission for illicit enrichment.
Member.
Both sides. Both sides. Both sides. You can't continue.
At this time,
Both sides. Both sides. Both sides. Both sides. Both sides. The Prime Minister fire you, both sides. Both sides.
at this time, there's by number
Both sides.
There you have it. Mark Jefferson Golden, this afternoon at minutes after 5 o'clock, Jamaica time, minutes after 6 o'clock, US time, has gotten the Andrew Holness administration so upset that they walked out of the budget presentation given to my Mr. Golden. Mr. Golden has ruffled the feather, has gotten the feathers of the Holness administration like a peacock in the air. They got so upset that they walked out of the parliament. And the Prime Minister is saying a low blow. Low blow. The Prime Minister is telling Mr. Golden that he went in a low blow. Low blow for what? Your wife, Prime Minister Holness, sit down. Refused to table the report was given to her in the Parliament of Jamaica, the People's Parliament. The People's Parliament, Prime Minister Holness. And you refuse. Your wife refused to table it. And you're telling Mr. Golden, who's duly elected to the Parliament of Jamaica, that's a low blow? Huh? It is a low blow. All they can hear, low blow, low blow, low blow. Low blow for what? Low blow for what? When the people of Jamaica has had enough of the corruption and the president going on in the parliament. Listen to what happened outside the parliament. And never in the history of Jamaica. Never in the history of Jamaica. An opposition leader could not make his presentation in the Parliament of Jamaica. Mr. Golden, because of what happened in the Parliament today, under the rules of Parliament, if you don't have majority in the Parliament to make a presentation, you have to adjourn the House. And because the people, the Labour Party knew about that, they walk out of the House and leave the People's National Party alone in there. And let me say something to you this afternoon. It's the first for a long while I've seen Mr. Mark Golden so fired up and getting ready to go. And I agree with him. Ask the question. The people of Jamaica need to know. The people of Jamaica need answers. And I get to understand that the DPP is sitting on the two. The level of corruption that's going on in the parliament is unbelievable. This afternoon, in the Parliament of Jamaica, opposition leader Mark Golden was giving his presentation to the parliament. And he got them going. He got them all upset. He got the Prime Minister of Jamaica upset. All I can see, low blow. Low blow for what? You, Mr. Holness, is saying that your administration is not corrupt. Mr. Holness, if it is not corrupt, sir, why don't you tell the people of Jamaica? Why don't your wife table what is supposed to be tabled in the parliament? If your administration is not so corrupt, Mr. Holness, why your wife can't allow the report to be tabled? Is it that your name is on the report, sir? Are you a part of the six? Is you and your wife is a part of the six, Mr. Golden? Mr. Holness, sorry, Mr. Holness? Prime Minister Holness, is your wife and you a part of the six, sir? Huh? But what is so hurtful? They walked out of the parliament. And never in the history of Jamaica, a leader was allowed to make his budget presentation outside the Parliament of Jamaica. Listen to this.
Period. All I can say to him, and I would have said it to him if we were still in the House, all I can say, if I were in your position, I would take with myself and hand over to someone else who is not compromised.
Yes.
Jamaica's iconic global track superstar, the Honorable Usain Bolt, and many other innocent investors were carried down in the scandalous SSL fiasco. And we can't hear anything about charges being brought against the culprits. I have been told that the DPP's office is dragging their feet when there are a number of people that the Financial Investigations Division are seeking to bring charges against. In fact, in August last year, the Gleaner carried a report that from the FID that there were several persons that they were intending to move against with charges. That report is no longer on the Gleaner website, but I am told that the DPP's office is dragging their feet on this. The Kroll forensic report, which has cost taxpayers millions of dollars, was delivered to the government months ago. It must be released to the public so we can see what the findings are. Jamaica will not accept a...
I want to get the other part when he said Jamaica will not accept what. But that's the only thing I got. Jamaicans, both home and abroad, we need some answers from the Parliament of Jamaica. And that is why in the budget presentation by Mark Jefferson Golden this afternoon in the Parliament of Jamaica, call for the report to be tabled in the Parliament. But we out here in Jamaica is calling for the lead for the Speaker of the House to step aside. Mrs. Holness, I'd advise you, ma'am, to resign as Speaker of the House of Parliament. Why you can't table it, ma'am? Why is it that you're afraid to table what is presented to you? Why? I lift my hat to Mark Jefferson Golden this afternoon. Mr. Golden is one of the most fair speech I've ever presented for a long while, sir. Is one of the most, the words I'm looking for, I can't even find it. But Mr. Golden, you have done the right thing, sir. Whether they want to walk out, yes or no, be like a Michael Manley, go out there and give the speech to the people same way. Be like the Michael Manley back in the days who stand up outside and speak to his people same way, sir. And I lift my hat to you for that. I lift my hat for that, sir. The Jamaican people need answers and need answers now. Why is it taking so long for the Speaker of the House to table the report in the Parliament of Jamaica, the People's Parliament? The Parliament don't belongs to Mrs. Holness or Mr. Holness. It don't belong to the Speaker or the Prime Minister. It belongs to the people of Jamaica. And although Mr. Golden had us to give his speech outside the Parliament, some of his speech, the people of Jamaica respect you for that, sir. The people of Jamaica respect you for that, sir. The time has come for the Jamaican people to stand up and speak out. Andrew is saying about low blow. It's a low blow, Mr. Holness, for you to sit in the Parliament, sir. And your wife's still a speaker, sir. And she refused to table the report that was given to her to be tabled. That's a low blow, sir. And if you have any integrity, sir, if you have any more integrity, leave in you, sir, you tell your wife to step aside. We need a speaker that is independent and independent from the party. A speaker who can go to the Parliament and be a speaker. That is what we're saying to you this afternoon. The Jamaican people have had enough. Corruption in the DPP office, corruption in the Parliament of Jamaica. And Mr. Warmington has no integrity whatsoever to be coming and talking in the Parliament. Everald Warmington should not be allowed to speak into the Parliament of Jamaica. None whatsoever. This afternoon, when I was watching it, like many others on this YouTube channel here, we said yes. And not because we're a member of any political party, but because we're Jamaicans. Because we are Jamaicans and we're tired. We're sick and fed up of what is going on. Well done, Mark Golding. Well done. You believe if this was in the United States of America, the speaker would get allowed to get away with it? No. No, not one bit. But Mrs. Holness sit down in the Parliament and refuse to table the report. She refused to table the report because she believes the Parliament belongs to she and her husband. And we must ask a question this afternoon. Mr. Holness and Mrs. Holness, why you refuse, Mrs. Holness, to table the report? Is it that your name is on it, Mrs. Holness? We're asking the question. Is it that your name is on it, ma'am? Is it that your name is on it, Mrs. Holness? We're going to open the phone line soon for you to call in. There's a bombshell this afternoon. Mark Jefferson Golden has given one of the biggest bombshell speech of all time. It's a bombshell speech he gave this afternoon. And we raise our hat to Mark Jefferson Golden, the people's opposition leader, Jamaica's opposition leader, the poor people opposition leader this afternoon. Asked some serious questions in the Parliament and gave a speech in the Parliament. Why is it that Mrs. Holness refused to table the report? Why? They sit down in there and they were saying, oh, Golden not give no good speech or whatever. He gave a good speech. Didn't finish his speech, but he gave a good one. He gave a good one this afternoon. Turn off your phone. Turn off in the background for me, sir. Welcome to the program.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm very good, ma'am. How are you doing?
Yeah, I am here. But you know see nobody no read Warmington lips.
What Warmington? What was he saying?
All right, the F word.
In the Parliament?
Yes, reading lips. I stand corrected anyhow, but that him say.
No, man. He couldn't. He couldn't be so civil to do that in the Parliament of Jamaica at all.
Reading lips, Mr. Jeffrey. Go look on the tape and read Warmington lips. I stand corrected.
Wow. So I'm asking a question. What do you think about Mark Jefferson Golden's speech?
Jesus Christ. She and her husband named on the list. You expect anything?
Well, we don't know if the name is on it, you know. We don't know. Okay. We're just speculating. We don't know. We're asking questions.
Speculating.
Yes.
Because if their name wasn't on it, why you only in the say something? No, show we what's going on.
Yes.
Let us know what's going on as Jamaican and as taxpayers. As Mr. Perkins said, the little dirty foot trousers man want to know.
Yes, from down across road.
From downtown.
Yes, indeed.
From Tivoli.
Tivoli,
Want
yes.
to know. Yeah. Want to know.
And
then we say
Moti would not come on. Moti would not come on and say, the center cannot hold. Mayor not keep on the land. Why you laughing at me, lady?
Adam did say we dog up here daily. See it, yeah.
I am telling you.
No, sir.
Mm-mm.
Never a dull moment in Jamaica.
Never a dull moment.
A dull moment.
But we must say this, you know, ma'am, that this afternoon speech given by Mark Golden, and he asking that question, believe you me, he has ruffled some feathers in the Parliament of Jamaica.
I wonder what kind of feather eagle or janta bird or
Hello. Our next call is coming. I don't know. Thank you for calling in.
all right.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Make We Talk program. Good evening.
Hi, Mr. Jeffrey.
Hi, ma'am. How are you doing?
I am upset and pissed off.
With me?
No, hell no, not with you. Sorry, but not with you. Mr. Madalashi. Where him come from?
Oh, you mean Mrs. Warmington?
When did he
But
you know, in fact, did clean one toilet when I hear the commotion and I run come in there.
Come on now. No. Don't go down the road yet. But don't you hear when Julia Robinson get out, the Prime Minister fire you, get out of here, get out.
Yes, me here. And then come back in there a second time. But out of all the things Mr. Wonderful Golden spoke about, in jump up, the Prime Minister jump up when he talk about the one woman who can send him ask for prison.
But low blow.
In jump up.
Low blow
My butt. First of all, it's so uncivilized and listen, she should not have been in that seat. Get your big forehead self out of there. Any other country, you don't see this.
No.
But yet, you see this. This is ridiculous. This is absolute. I salute Mark Golden 1,000,000% today.
Yes.
He was on fire.
A very fiery speech given by opposition leader Mark Golden. The Jamaicans
and they could not handle it.
There you go. Fire there, mus in I think a cool breeze. Thanks for calling in, my dear.
Exactly. And I'm telling you, every single one that walked out today should have been fined and sanctioned, including the Prime Minister.
True.
They should have been fined and sanctioned because nothing is being done. It's going to continue doing exactly what they're doing.
So true.
The Prime Minister should have set an example. You are the leader of the country currently. But then again, you know, I have to go start packing garbage back then. But then again, you are the leader of this country currently.
I wonder if I can find Sheriff Knight's speech. And you, Prime Minister, pack your bags and go.
My goodness. Show the Jamaican people that you are about something. But then again, he ain't about Jack, so you know.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for calling in. Have a next call coming in. Thank you.
You're welcome. You too. Bye-bye.
Good afternoon and good evening. Welcome to the Make We Talk program. How you doing? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Jamaica, man.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. Yes. I am surprised. You know, I am a very old person. I've never seen this happen here. The government walk out of the parliament.
At a budget presentation.
No, in no case at all, I've ever seen a government walk out of the parliament. The majority in the house walk out. I've never seen it.
Never in the history of Jamaica.
Never. No, not in Jamaica. If it has ever happened, I don't know of it. So you can enlighten me.
Never in the history of Jamaica, sir.
Well,
I can't remember
so
that.
What I'm saying, we as boys, when we used to play marble, you know marble game?
Sir, of course
we play marble, man. All right. Well, the rule was, you know, if you don't want your press to get it, you know, don't put it in the ring.
Hello.
Put it in the ring. But mine and her since you go and lick it over.
But none of that, sir.
You know that.
But it's not, hold on there, sir. It's not that, you know. You know, see what's going on. The kitchen was getting too hot. Marky G was frying some KFC.
Yes.
Where's Isaac Buchanan with the KFC? Go ahead, sir.
What I'm saying is that if you don't want him wife to be criticized, he should not be in the parliament.
But sir, hold on there for me, sir. Hold on there for me, sir. It's not a matter of criticism, sir. The wife
No, no,
is,
no.
hold on
No,
there.
it's the truth. It's the truth.
The wife is the Speaker of the House. Okay?
Yeah.
She's not above criticism. And the Jamaican people need answers from her.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
That's why I'm addressing the question. Because he's saying low blow. So if she comes to the parliament, she must have come to the parliament. That's all.
Same way, sir?
Yeah. So I don't see the low blow thing. And as I said before, we as boys know that if you don't want somebody, your mom will get it. You put it in the ring.
Yes, sir. Thanks for
That's
calling.
what it is.
Thank you for calling. I have a next call coming in, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, man. Bless up
Okay,
yourself.
bless up.
And I love your program.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Good evening. Welcome to the Make We Talk program. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from the States, Mr. Jeffrey. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm laughing.
Why are you laughing?
You know what happened? You know what happened this evening?
Uh-huh.
Andrew Holness. And I'm going to say it, I don't care.
Yes.
And his wife and others who are part of the illicit six. What Juliet needs to do, the problem is not that Juliet is Speaker of the House, you know, she needs to be neutral. She needs to get up of the Integrity Commission reports and table them in Parliament. And that is what Jamaicans are saying, right? Those of us who are Jamaicans who are a yard and abroad, that is what we are saying. She can be the Speaker of the House, but she needs to take her backside up of the Commission's report and table it in Parliament. And the only reason Andrew walk out is because those shots coming from the Honorable Mark Golding, the Honorable long time. Those shots coming from Mark Golding were too piercing for him.
Yeah, man.
And they are staring him in his face.
And they never expect Sir Golding to give a speech, a fire speech like that in the Parliament, because what they believe.
Absolutely.
What they believe that he's going, some old dull speech Marky G coming with now. But
hello, Marky G is way above them, leaps and bounds ahead them with integrity and everything like that. And these are the leaders we want in Jamaica, another Michael Manley. Yes. We don't want people who are going to pay you for your vote, 5,000, 15,000, 20,000, and they are planning to pay for the election coming. But so Jamaicans need to open their eyes.
But not only that, you know, ma'am. When Mark Golding came into the Parliament, you know what he did? He went up, I know the area that he went up on, and he stand up there with his other parliamentarians. And he gave his budget speech out there too.
That's right, stand at the mountain and speak up. That's a Michael Manley. Kudos to Mark Golding, and every well-thinking Jamaica, whether you're home or abroad, don't sit down and wait to be paid for your votes, and then you vote and you go back to suffer. And don't think about yourself and the fact that you can buy a dinner when you get the money. Think about your children and grandchildren, and think about where we want Jamaica to get. That's what we need to think about. And if I was the wildest laborite this evening, to be honest with you, I would take off my green, because some people are blind, you know, with colors. I would take it off and I would lift my hat to Mark Golding, because that's the kind of leaders we want in Jamaica.
Indeed.
And let it burn. This is what Andrew P said, burn him. He's sitting down for too much corruption and too much nastiness. He need to get up and clean up Jamaica. That's what we're calling on him to do. And if he cannot do it, get out of the way and let somebody else do it. What he think he is, or who does he think he is?
The kitchen getting hot, me there. The kitchen
getting hot. Yeah, absolutely. He behave like a yard. He think he ruling a yard. He's ruling Jamaica, which is for Jamaicans, not for the wholenesses.
There you go. Thanks for calling in, my dear.
Absolutely, Mr. Jeffrey.
Thank you very much.
Blessings to you. Okay.
Bye-bye. Fire there, moose still think a cool breeze, yeah? Good afternoon. Welcome to the Make We Talk program.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I am here. Where are you calling from, ma'am?
I'm calling from the States.
Welcome to the program.
I just wanted to say that as I listened to Mark Golding taking his budget speech to the streets,
yes,
I was impressed, and he reminded me of Paul Bogle.
Indeed.
And I will quote from a poem that spoke to Paul Bogle's strength and dynamism.
Yes.
The roads were rocky and the hills are steep. The map is scratches and the gullies deep. The town is far, news travels slow. But in these times, news isn't traveling slow anymore, because we have social media. And it's a powerful watchdog.
Indeed.
So whatever is happening in Jamaica, it's not going to be hidden, so we have to be very careful. It was quite disappointing to see the members of government just up and walk out of the house.
Headed by the Prime Minister of Jamaica. Prime Minister,
yes.
if he didn't have anything, if he didn't have anything to hide, sir, why would he get up and walk out?
It is disappointing, and I am wondering how they're going to play that off. You know, how are they going to excuse that? I'm listening for the corrections.
You still there, caller?
And I think that the bite of the week is going to be what Julian Holness said. Not Julian Holness, Julian.
Get out. The
yes,
Prime Minister fire you.
No, he said, one, the Prime Minister fire you.
Oh my God, that's funny.
These are interesting times.
Yes.
These are interesting times.
Yes, it is. Very, very serious. You see me laughing, but it's very serious.
These are interesting times. We are witnessing a movement, and we are witnessing the bleeding heart and soul of a people who are suffering. And what I have to say to Marky G2 is that if he is elected Prime Minister and he comes with any kind of oppression, he's going to face the people too, and he's going to face the criticisms too. So if he's coming, he better come good.
True. Thank you, darling. Thank you for calling.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Jamaicans from all walks of life are hailing Mark Goldie this afternoon. A fiery speech in the Parliament. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Make We Talk program. Good evening.
Make We Talk. Good afternoon, Rastafari. You know, Marky G is a real Rasta man.
Yes.
Praise Rastafari. But you see, brother, the higher the monkey climbs, the more they expose.
Indeed.
You see the truth. You see the truth is why I'm have to run out, because I'm climb too high, so I'm exposed in a silence, you know. So you can't take the fire with them, so you have to run out of the kitchen. So you know, Mr. Marky V come to tell Jamaica, say, I am the one who God sent to free one. So look over me and stay in bandage if you don't want. You did a great job. You know, and I'm trying to show the people say, no, power me a fight for. Me a fight for you, your freedom, to make this be a better Jamaica for us all. Marky G is a Rasta man. Hey, I love you, you know, he's the leader, you know, you say, make me talk. And you have the logic so much. So talk real time. Marky G is a Rasta man. Andrew Holness of a run, or Andrew Clanness or wickedness or whatever it is, you know. And the reason why them cannot table these things in Parliament, my brother, is because they are part of it. Because if you don't have anything to hide, you would have exposed those who are involved in illicit riches and building your house so big and poor people are suffering. Well, thank you for a great job.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We're going to let this play once more. I want you to all to listen to this.
By that banking sector. And we will use the legislation governing ganja to create a special ecosystem for the Rastafari community. And we want to economically empower the Rastafari community. And that is a matter close to my heart as the architect of the PNP's 2015 decriminalization of ganja. There are provisions in the law for regulations to be made to achieve that, and they're not being used. Making change through social justice leads to a serious reconsideration of Jamaica's current place and standing in the world. Mr. Speaker, our international policy position centers on the principle of being good neighbors to all while maintaining our sovereignty and independence. That guides our relationship with the global family of nations. We steadfastly maintain the right to exercise independent judgment and make independent decisions based on the principles that we embrace. We will continue to work towards strengthening our relationships with the global South, even as we maintain long-standing relationships with our traditional partners. Our trade with the African continent and its large and rapidly expanding economies remains very modest. The top 5 economies in terms of growth are South Africa, Nigeria, Egypt, Algeria, and Ethiopia. And we have long historical connections with the fast-growing economies of Ghana and Sierra Leone. There are therefore tremendous opportunities for us to build out new trade and investment.
We have a next call. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to the Make It Talk program.
Good afternoon, Jeffrey T. Much of the people in Parliament today.
Me.
Okay. Well, Jeffrey.
Yes.
We had this discussion before. I remember when the goodly young senator, Miss Morris, I don't remember her first name.
Gabriella Morris, Senator Gabriella Morris.
Gabriella, yes. Correct. When she was on your program last, and while I believe the Prime Minister, Mrs. Juliet HOLNESS to be Speaker of the House, I believe that's a conflict of interest.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I never agreed with, for her to be Speaker of the House, based on the fact that she's the Prime Minister's wife.
Yes.
And if you are the Prime Minister's wife, you are the leader of the House. You control the House. The Prime Minister controls the government, and that will lead to an autocratic behavior from both ends of the government, of both ends of people.
Mm-hmm.
But, and this is where a lot of your listeners and callers will disagree with me. Remember, the Jamaica Labour Party had the majority to choose who they want, right, at all times.
Yes.
But they will definitely need a second from the opposition to second the motion.
And they did.
And they did. So my argument is this. At the time, the opposition leader of business in the House, Philip Powell, stood up and seconded the motion. And that is where I believe the opposition went wrong, because the opposition knew she was the Prime Minister's wife then, and they knew that she's the Prime Minister's wife now. Mm-hmm. They should have never seconded that motion. And then we are going to say now, people are going to say that the opposition was disruptive then because they want to disrupt governance. But at the end of the day, the people's business must go on, and we must stand for transparency. And they knew this because, remember, she was also the deputy speaker, and they have seen where she acted as a deputy speaker at times in reference to how she was lopsided in her calling as when she sits in for the former speaker.
Yes.
So they should have let the JLP go back to their caucus and choose someone else, because they should have never seconded her.
Hold on there for me. In the well of the Parliament, when the clerk of the Parliament said, "Is there any other nominee? Is there anybody up there? Is there anybody who want to put themselves up to be Speaker?" Nobody in the well of the Parliament did it.
I agree. So that is why the clerk of the House now asks for the opposition to second the motion. And the opposition sat down and never seconded the motion, the government members would have to go back to their benches and say, listen, we cannot move forward with Juliet HOLNESS. We have to choose somebody else.
Yes.
But the opposition should be on record to say that they are not in agreement with Juliet HOLNESS become Speaker of the House. So my argument is this today. My belief, the PMP don't have a foot to stand on when they are now going to criticize the Speaker of the House, because they had an opportunity.
Let me ask you a question.
To kill that then.
Let me ask you a question. Did you hear the speech given by the opposition leader today?
Of course, in its entirety.
Okay. And why he ended up saying what he said is because the Speaker sit on the integrity the report from when?
Correct. That is what I'm trying to say. That is exactly what I'm trying to say. So the mere fact of the matter, we know, mark you, whosoever the GLP would have chosen then to be Speaker of the House would have a biased view to what the opposition leader Mark Golan said today. Don't get that wrong. Let us not get out of context, because because the former Speaker Remember, so the former speaker had been removed because of a report in the Integrity Commission Committee. That is why she was removed from the because of what went on before. So the mere fact of the matter today, what I am simply saying, don't get me wrong, and let us be clear, I am in agreement with the opposition that the wife should never be the Speaker of the House. But what I am saying, they should have never seconded that motion. Because with they second that motion, then it is like you are saying that they never had a problem with her then, but you are now having a problem with her today. But the truth of the matter, she was always the Prime Minister's wife. You understand? She was always the Prime Minister's wife. And then now the public will go to the perception that it's because of political expediency why they are doing it. While I believe that the opposition leader was in all his right to mention it today because she's the one is the guardrails to what's going on for the Jamaica Labour Party in the Senate, in the House, in Parliament. So the mere fact of the matter, that is where I believe the opposition leader or the country of Jamaica, why they second the motion for her to be Speaker of the House.
Point well taken. Thank you for calling in, sir.
All right, good.
Thank you. The caller has some valid point, you know. They do. He do. Because the fact of the matter is, they second the voting inside the well of the Parliament. But withstanding all of that, I believe that the Speaker of the House should step down. You sit on the report from when, Madam Speaker, and until now you haven't brought it to the Parliament of Jamaica to be tabled, Madam Speaker. I'm going to ask the question again. Madam Speaker, why are you afraid to table it? Is it that your name and your husband's name is on it? We're just asking a question. Not accusing anybody anything. We're just asking a question. Prime Minister Michael Andrew Holness. Just asking a question, sir. A pleasant good evening. Welcome to the Make We Talk program.
Good evening, Mr. Morris. Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm here looking and living, ma'am.
Okay, good. God, thanks. It's what I'm saying about what you got. I know me can't stop laughing. Me have to call crowd.
What make you laugh?
Marky G stepping at the labor right face. You never say Andrew face local.
Andrew said, that's a low blow.
Them say a woman time. You see labor right a liar? Okay. I am not going to put on Mr. Powell because he seconded for the JLP for the student speaker. You know why I'm saying that? Because we have a low opposition. When them come like we don't have the talk, so whether we second it or we didn't second it, or who they want put them would have put here.
They would have won.
So I am not going to say anything about Mr. Powell because whether we open remote or we not open remote, we don't have no right.
Yes.
And what I text my MP since season, you know, and I let him know that he's not supposed to sit in a parliament with them, you know. And my MP is Dr. Guy, you know.
Oh, Dr. Maurice guy?
That's my guy.
Yes.
I'm
he's a very well,
you know, not supposed to sit in a parliament with them labor because they don't have no behavior.
None.
And if we boycott parliament for them can submit to the Integrity Commission something. Uno name for it for a long time.
What I believe the People's National Party should do now, since the walkout, and I am not saying that, you know, it should be violent or anything. What they need to do is to gather the Jamaican people together and march on Jamaica House, march on the Parliament of Jamaica, march on King's House, and demand the Governor General to tell women to step aside.
That's truth.
That's what I believe.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
The number to call is a WhatsApp number too. So those who want to call via WhatsApp is 954-529-8030. My take on it, the opposition should call on the people, get the people together, have a peaceful demonstration, and march on the Parliament of Jamaica. The Speaker of the House must resign. The people of this country must stop this PNP and JLP thing and demand accountability. And so this afternoon, as we're on this program here, I am calling on every well-thinking Jamaican. Mr. Golden, I'm not a member of the People's National Party of the Jamaica Labour Party, I'm a Jamaican. Mr. Golden, Mr. Mark Jefferson Golden, you have my first name, sir, Jeffrey. I lift my hat to you, sir. And I will say to you this afternoon, sir, that you, Mr. Golden, need to gather the Jamaican people together. As what one lady said, you remind her of Paul Bogle. You remind me of the late Michael Norman Joshua Mandley. You remind me of the late Paul Bogle, the late George William Garden, the late Marcus Mosiah Garvey. You stand for the people of this country, Mr. Golden. And I lift my hat to you this afternoon, sir. And for those beyond the shores of Jamaica, stand firm and stand up for Jamaica. For those beyond the shores of this country of ours, the time has come for all of us to rally around a single cause and a single purpose. We will not stand by and let this country go down the drain of corruption like how Haiti is going down the drain. We will not. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Make We Talk program. Hello?
Yes, Mr. Jefferson. Good,
yes, sir. Good afternoon. Or good evening.
Let me ask you a question. Is there a process in which the People's National Party could take the government to court to release those documents?
They can.
So what is holding up that process?
I don't know. Can you turn off whatever you have in the background, please, sir? It's squeaking in the studio here. Tell her to turn it off. I didn't tell her to hang up. Thank you very much for calling in. Jamaica has a Westminster system. You believe if this was in the Parliament in London, if the Speaker of Commons in London, the Speaker of the Parliament in London, was sitting on a report, you believe that he'll be sitting there same way? I don't think so. Good evening, welcome to the... Why on earth these people calling with the thing on? Good evening, welcome to the Make We Talk program.
It's Mr. Jeffrey.
Can you turn off whatever you have in the background for me, please? I'm gonna start hang up the phone on people, you know, because it's getting a feedback in the studio here. Please do not call. Go ahead for me. Hello?
Yes, I'm just saying to you, if the lady just asks if you but about the court business, we don't have any. The DDP would throw it away same way because Andrew friend.
You have a point there.
Yeah. Yes. He will throw it away because look what she did yesterday and so many people child go down the drain like that. So and just that I have to say about the courting, because I look at the thing in the Parliament today and when I see, I was so sorry for Mark, but
sorry for Mark for what?
No, I was so, you know, when he just sat down after when they walk out and then start, you understand?
Yeah.
So I just feel good how you just take it on the street. Yes.
And say when he take it on the streets, I would advise him, opposition leader, to take it on the streets to them. Take it to the Jamaican people.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, man, for calling in.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Make We Talk program.
Hey, good afternoon, Jeffrey.
Hey,
how are you doing, man?
I'm good. Is this Justice?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Justice. You see what's going on in the Parliament of Jamaica today, sir?
Oh, I most certainly do.
Your views on that, Justice?
Well, I want to think that, well, one, for the government to just up and leave Parliament, I think that's extremely scandalous.
Yes.
And to see the circumstances in which they did it. And there's a saying, you know, if you can't stand the heat, you get out of the kitchen. And I think that's exactly what they did. But there was a gentleman that called earlier, and he stated that when Juliet Holness was nominated to be Speaker of the House,
yes,
the members of the opposition, Philip Powell, they should not have seconded. And I am in agreement with them. And some time ago, you had the young senator on your program, and we were talking about the low voter turnout and whether or not the people of Jamaica, you know, take the electoral officials seriously. The thing is, the People's National Party or any party that is in opposition are government. They need to restore public confidence. And when I say public confidence, they need to ensure that people understand that it is not business as usual. And that we're just going along with whatever it is to go along with. And that irrespective of what side of the fence we are at, we're not cronies. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
People, we have the low voter turnout because people don't believe whether we vote one way or the other, there is going to be any effective change.
Yes.
But if Mark Golding is serious and the People's National Party is serious, they must keep the governing party on the ropes.
Yes, on their toes.
In that, yes, hold them accountable and threaten them with imprisonment. You see how long Master Royal Reed is out there and his case can't be tried yet? After they have taken millions from public funds? And it goes on and it goes on, and all they do is get a slap on the wrist or get dismissed from Parliament, but they still get to live with the spoils. People need to be held accountable, and until Jamaica sees this happening, you know, people, the voting population will not be engaged the way they ought to.
Yes. True. Thank you very much.
Sir.
Yes, Justice. Thank you for calling in.
Not a problem, my brother.
Thank you. And I need to talk to you off air, tune, Justice. When you see me come off air, can you give me a call if I don't call you, sir, please?
Sure, no problem, man. Give me a call anytime, man. Doesn't matter the time. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Make We Talk program.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Jeffrey. Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
How are you, sir?
I am here looking and living, sir.
First time. Yes, the first time caller.
Thank you very much for calling
but
in,
always
sir.
Listen to your show.
Thank you.
Yes, always listen to your show.
Thank you.
What a gentleman called before and said to say, I like his talk, you know. I don't like to see Mark Golding gather the troop left, right, and center, all parish in Jamaica, and we go to Garden House.
Yeah, man.
I go to the Governor House. Because the Governor General don't do nothing. It's a foolishness.
All him do is go on and yam.
I don't know. That's what he's doing. And he get the most pay and say he's an Adventist man, a man of God. I think Jamaica is falling behind 80 soon and very soon, you know, that's what I notice.
Indeed.
So we need to ask America to come in and help us, you know, before we reach that point.
Listen to me, sir, we're a sovereign country, sir.
Yes, but they can still ask them for help.
We are a sovereign democratic country, sir. What America gonna help us with?
Well, seem like how they asking 80 asking them for help or some other country for help, then we can ask them to.
So why we
can't help? Why
we can't help ourselves?
Well, we are trying to help ourselves, but we don't want the crime and violence get out of hand, because that's the way we see it going now, you know. Because they need to overthrow this boy Andrew Holness.
No. Hold on for me, sir. No. We have to respect the office of the Prime Minister, regardless of what in it, sir. Please. All right?
Well, why look at it then? The Governor General need to do something.
Yes.
Need to say something. Because things getting out of hand.
All right, so thanks for calling in.
And I think, okay, you are welcome. Good.
Thank you very much. Regardless of what, we may not respect the person, but we need to respect the office of the Prime Minister. Okay? Respect the office of the Prime Minister. The office of the Prime Minister is Jamaica's office. It's Jamaica's office. I see a call. Someone was calling me a while ago. Can you call back, please? 954-529-8030 is a WhatsApp number to. Here she is. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
All the best.
I am here, sir, looking and living, sir. How are you doing?
Okay, I'm doing good. Actually, the speech today by Mr. Golden was a gem of a speech. It was very good.
Yes.
But I want to disagree with those two gentlemen that saying that the opposition agreed to the selection of Juliet HOLNESS.
They did, sir.
Regardless of, right, I'm going to disagree with it. The reason why I'm going to disagree with it, right, is that when you choose persons to lead an organization or lead an entity, and the parliament is supposed to be something that is accountable, you can't decipher how someone will think their actions. You can't control their actions. You're supposed to have integrity. So if you're going to presume that, okay, I am not going to select him because I think that he's a thief, that means to say there's no accountability on that person. So when they choose or seconded Miss Juliet HOLNESS, they did that out of the premise that she would, even the thought was there that she might be biased. You cannot promulgate that idea until it is done. It's just like they say a man is innocent until proven guilty.
Yes.
You can't say after the fact or before the fact, say, boy, him guilty, and you don't put out the discourse. So with them selecting Juliet HOLNESS, it doesn't mean to say, boy, yeah, them blunder in that case, because the next JLP member could have got there, and what are you going to say? You should not select that person because you know so that person is not.
Imagine if they had selected Everett Warmington, sir.
Exactly. And you're going to say, okay, then why select Everett Warmington? Because you know, so he's firebrand and him this and him that and that. So you can't really say that, regardless if she's a wife, there's supposed to be certain integrity. Okay, look at it this way. Up to now, they have not signed the code of conduct. None of the members have signed the integrity code of conduct. So are you saying that all their members is not the same? Who are you going to choose? Because if none of them have not signed the integrity code of conduct, you have to select one of them to be a Speaker of the House. So you can't say the actions is wrong by the PNP because someone has to serve. Someone has to serve. True. And it's based upon that. You just let them chips fall away at me. It's her actions or her inactions bring this where it is. Just like the DPP, as what Mark said, as what Mr. Golden said, she has been lagging with the report.
Yes, because it was brought to my attention exactly what Mr. Golden said, that the DPP have the reports in the on.
Exactly. So what are you going to say? They're supposed to, okay, they didn't want the DPP to be there. She's supposed to retire, and the government still go ahead and do it. So the person who said that the PNP Paul should not have seconded it, it's a non-factor. Someone has to do it, and whether it's Everett Warmington, Delroy, Chuck, or any ministers, is how they act in their self-interest, how they act in integrity, and all these things, and honestly. Right. So you can't say, boy, I can have a business and give it to you and say, boy, John Tom run this business. I don't know if you're going to run this business good, but I based upon your history, you might have, because you have good people who do bad things.
All right.
So that's my final thing. Thanks again.
Thank you. Wow. I am telling you. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Share this live as much as you can. Like, share, and subscribe. Let us get some more subscription on this program here. Believe you me, the people of Jamaica is speaking this afternoon. And the people of Andrea, behave yourself. Madam Lashy Warmington. The people of Jamaica is speaking this evening. And they have enough of it. They have had enough of Mr. Warmington. Mr. Warmington. They have had enough of what is going on in the Parliament of Jamaica. Enough. And I would suggest somebody send me something. I was trying to put it up on the thing here. I would suggest that the opposition leader take all of this to the people. That's my opinion. The numbers to call is 954-529-8030. It is also a WhatsApp number. You can call in, please. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Make It Talk program.
Oh, hi, Mr. Jeffrey. How are you? Calling from Canada.
Hi, how are you doing? Welcome to the call. Welcome to the program.
The first time caller.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching the parliament today.
Yes.
And it's very embarrassing. What the PM and his team, how they behave, because I think that whatever the situation is, everybody should sit and listen until the end.
Indeed. That is to show you the respect that Andrew Holness had for the people of Jamaica, ma'am.
For the people. He has no respect. He's very rude. And if I was in the shoe of these people, I would fairly give Mark Golden a chance.
Indeed.
I think he has so much to offer the country, and he's very genuine. I don't talk about politicians because I never like, their behavior, but I listen to him and he's very genuine. And I think the people should really consider this man and give him a chance. And Jeholis does not care about them. You could see his attitude this evening. His behavior was just like the man that is called Warmington. I don't know what he's doing there because I thought he was fired. So their firing is not really firing.
No. Hold on a minute. Mr. Warmington is fired from the post as minister. The prime minister, the prime minister cannot fire him as member of parliament. He's elected by the people.
Okay. I don't really understand so much of it, sir. Yes, but from what I saw, he's very rude. You could see his mouth that it was going off like a viper. And I listened to him in several blogs, and the way he behaves, it's not, I would want my grandchildren to listen to him. Because he's not a person of discipline to grow up anybody at all. And if he's throwing this kind of behavior in the young generation of Jamaica, I don't know what kind of a man is that. So he should find himself somewhere else, retire and go smoke a cigar or something.
All right. Thanks very much for calling.
And that's my few words. Thank you so much, Jeffrey.
Bye-bye. Thanks. Wow. Fire day most tail and think a cool breeze, yeah. Jeffrey, behave yourself. Jeffrey, behave yourself. Jeffrey, behave yourself. I want to show you something. Look at this. This is the Prime Minister of Jamaica face. Hold on a minute. Make I try to get this thing up here. The numbers to call into the program this afternoon. There's a fire speech given this afternoon by Jamaica's Prime Minister. Jamaica's opposition leader, Mark Jefferson Golden. Mr. Golden gave a speech this afternoon that ruffles the feathers of the government party till they walk out of the parliament. They walk out of the parliament because they're sick. Very sick set of people. Look at Mr. Holness' mouth. That's the parliament this afternoon. That's the Prime Minister's face. That is the Prime Minister's face. Oh, yes. Thank you very much, my producer. I'm going to stop. Mr. Warmington went into the parliament also and went on Moses gracefully too. But based on what went into the parliament today, Mr. Golden took to the streets of Jamaica. Never in the history of Jamaica this ever happened. Never in the history of Jamaica a leader of opposition had also to take his budget presentation outside of the parliament. Never in the history of Jamaica. Listen to this.
Period. All I can say to him, and I would have said it to him if we were still in the house, all I can say, if I were in your position, I would take with myself and hand over to someone else who is not compromised.
Yes.
Jamaica's iconic global track superstar, the Honorable Usain Bolt, and many other innocent investors were carried down in the scandalous SSL fiasco. And we can't hear anything about charges being brought against the culprits. I have been told that the DPP's office is dragging their feet when there are a number of people that the Financial Investigations Division are seeking to bring charges against. In fact, in August last year, the Gleaner carried a report that from the FID that there were several persons that they were intending to move against with charges. That report is no longer on the Gleaner website, but I am told that the DPP's office is dragging their feet on this. The Kroll forensic report, which has cost taxpayers millions of dollars, was delivered to the government months ago. It must be released to the public so we can see what the findings are. Jamaica will not accept a...
We were trying to get the other part of the speech that Mr. Goldman said Jamaica would never accept whatever. But based on what Mr. Goldman said today, outside the Parliament of Jamaica, the government side, headed by the Prime Minister of Jamaica, should be ashamed of themselves this afternoon. Should be ashamed of themselves. Never in the history of Jamaica this ever happened. Where opposition leader have to take his budget presentation to the people out to the streets. Never. Never in the history of this country. Listen to some more of what Mr. Golden said. And I'll tell you something, you know. We must listen keenly to what this man is saying. Listen to it.
Period. All I can say to him, and I would have said it to him if we were still in the house, all I can say, if I were in your position, I would take with myself and hand over to someone else who is not compromised.
Yes.
Jamaica's iconic global track superstar, the Honorable Usain Bolt, and many other innocent investors were carried down in the scandalous SSL fiasco. And we can't hear anything about charges being brought against the culprits. I have been told that the DPP's office is dragging their feet when there are a number of people that the Financial Investigations Division are seeking to bring charges against. In fact, in August last year, the Gleaner carried a report that from the FID that there were several persons that they were intending to move against with charges. That report is no longer on the Gleaner website, but I am told that the DPP's office is dragging their feet on this. The Kroll forensic report, which has cost taxpayers millions of dollars, was delivered to the government months ago. It must be released to the public so we can see what the findings are. Jamaica will not accept a...
We need some answers. And we need some answers fast. And I'm saying to Mr. Golden this evening, Mr. Golden, I don't know if this is true, but I'm getting to understand that there's an emergency meeting at Old Hope Road right now, where the People's National Party is having an emergency meeting. I'm trying to reach out to some contacts that I have. Hopefully, I can get somebody to come on to confirm it. But what happened in the Parliament of Jamaica this evening? Jamaicans home and abroad. This should have never happened. Where the opposition leader given his presentation to the budget presentation, and the government side walked out. Never happened in the history of Jamaica before. Never. The numbers to call 954-529-8030. It's also a WhatsApp number. Call in from it. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Make We Talk program. Hello?
Hello, President. Hello, good evening, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good, sir. How are you doing? Welcome to the program.
Well, I'm live, but I'm not good at all understanding what is happening. I'm just catching up on the program.
Yes.
It is of my understanding from listening a while ago that the ruling party walked out of Parliament.
Yes, because Mr. Golden was asking question. I was saying that the Jamaican people are saying it's a conflict of interest that they have the Speaker of the House, who is the wife of the Prime Minister, sitting on some report and refuse to table them, sir. So Mr. Golden gave a fiery speech and the Prime Minister get up and walk out.
Well, this speech is overdue in terms of for them to hit out against what is happening.
Yes.
But we as Jamaicans, we're not united. That is the key problem.
True.
Because it's easy to get the government out with their current behavior. They lock us up for simple reasons. Now, we can hit back. Hit back in the sense, they can't lock everybody up. And if we are united and decide, hey, we're not going to pay the ridiculous fines for traffic, pay taxes, refuse on paying taxes for a minute, I think we need to get together and have a hold on our future, on our children and grandchildren's future. Now, the process that has been arranged for Florida before, that had gone on, and the one in for New York, I was not available for the one in Florida. For sure. I have to make it to New York, and I guess.
Please
I'll show my support. Brother, will do. I'm calling from Montego Bay, Jamaica.
Thank you.
No. This is where most of the corruption started.
Mm.
You know, it is sad to say, I've born and grown in Montego Bay. One thing I know for sure, Montegonians don't support Montegonians. They support outsiders. It is very strange, and we have a change of what we call the JCF.
Mm-hmm.
To be frank, that is the largest gang in Jamaica.
What, the JCF?
Yes, sir. They're the largest gang.
Mm.
They're the ones.
Why you say that?
Why I say that?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. T, with all due respect,
Mm.
you know how they operate.
Then no, hold on there now. I don't know how they operate. I'm just asking you why you say it.
Why I say, okay, in terms of how they operate, they go around and do as they please, harass the citizens, treat them unjustly, without no recourse.
Yes.
And when you retaliate, you're silent in many different ways, including the underground.
Yes.
I say underground, you're gone 6 foot 6.
True.
So, you know, in terms of people are afraid.
Yes. All right, so thanks for calling in.
In numbers, we have strength.
Yes.
You know, Mr. T, thanks a lot and keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, and thank you for subscribing to the channel, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Have a good one.
Same to you. Jamaicans from all walks of life are speaking out this afternoon. For those who did not get a chance to speak, you can call in now. The phone lines are clear. 954-529-8030. It is also a WhatsApp number you can call in. 954-529-8030. It's also a WhatsApp number you can call into the program. What is your views on what happened in the parliament today? There's an old Jamaican saying, fire dear moose, tail, then think a cool breeze, yeah? Jeffrey, behave yourself. Hold on there, we're gonna listen to this again. Hold on.
The move to replace her with the wife of the Prime Minister.
Hold on.
So that when the former speaker was forced to resign as a result of an integrity commission investigation, the move to replace her with the wife of the Prime Minister, so that the head of Parliament is now the spouse of the head of government, really does not sit well with the tradition that the Speaker must act independently of the government of the day. The Speaker is intended to be independent and must act independently of the government today. That is the tradition. That is the tradition. The failure. Mr. Speaker.
Members.
The Prime Minister is saying that Mr. Golden is low and desperate. That's a low blow and is desperate for power. Listen to some more.
Mr. Speaker, the failure to identify the so-called illicit 6 MPs.
Your Prime Minister fire you, both sides. Your Prime Minister fire you, both sides. Your Prime Minister fire you. Your Prime Minister fire you, both sides. Both sides.
My. Hold on there. The Parliament was very heated today.
Forced to resign as a result.
The Parliament of Jamaica was very heated today. Go outside. Shut up and go outside. Julian Robertson was heard telling Warmington to get out. Get out, go outside. But I've never seen wherein in a budget presentation given by the opposition leader, and the opposition leader has criticized the government on many occasions, whether it be PNP or JLP. And I've never seen the People's National Party walk out on the opposition leader. And now, what you're seeing in the Parliament of Jamaica is Andrew Holness taking up his belongings and walk out, followed by other members of the Labour Party, because they don't see it fit to sit in the Parliament to listen to the opposition leader, Mr. Mark Golding, presentation to the Parliament of Jamaica, talking about the wife of the Prime Minister refusing to table the report that was given to her. Refusing to table what was given to her. And what they did was to get up and walk out of the People's Parliament. The disgraceful act given by the Prime Minister of Jamaica. A disgraceful and despicable act. Are you Prime Minister Michael Andrew Holness? It's disgraceful and despicable. What you should have done, Mr. Holness, is literally wait until the opposition leader finishes his speech, sir. Then you can get up and do what you want to do. But you get up and walk out of the Parliament of Jamaica, sir. Showing to the Jamaican people, Mr. Holness,
of the head of government really does not sit well.
But you don't respect the Jamaican people, Mr. Holness. This is showing us that you don't respect the Jamaican people, Prime Minister Holness. And for you, Mr. Holness, to get up and walk out of the Parliament just like that, leave a bad taste in my mouth as a Jamaican citizen. A very bad taste, Prime Minister. Listen to this.
When the former speaker was forced to resign as a result of an Integrity Commission investigation, the move to replace her with the wife of the Prime Minister, so that the head of Parliament is now the spouse of the head of government, really does not sit well with the tradition that the Speaker must act independently of the government of the day. The Speaker is intended to be independent and must act independently of the government today. That is the tradition. That is the tradition. The failure. Mr. Speaker.
Members.
The failure to identify the so-called illicit 6 MPs.
The Prime Minister fire you, both sides. Your Prime Minister fire you, both sides. Your Prime Minister fire you. Your Prime Minister fire you, both sides. Both sides. Thank you.
My. What a thing.
When the former speaker was forced to resign as a result of an Integrity Commission investigation, the move to replace her with the wife of the Prime Minister, so that the head of Parliament is now the spouse of the head of government, really does not sit well with the tradition that the Speaker must act independently of the government of the day. The Speaker is intended to be independent and must act independently of the government today. That is the tradition. That is the tradition. The failure. Mr. Speaker.
Members.
Mr. Speaker, the failure to identify the so-called illicit 6 MPs.
Both sides. Your Prime Minister fire you, both sides. Your Prime Minister fire you, both sides. Your Prime Minister fire you. Your Prime Minister fire you, both sides. Both sides.
You know something? When you have an opposition leader giving his speech, and I keep on saying this, and the government side get up and walk out, led by the Prime Minister of the country, that's not good politics at all. That's not good governing. That is not good governing one bit. I've been working my source to see if I can get somebody from the People's National Party to speak to us, but they are locked into a meeting, I was told. I don't know if I can get my good friend, attorney at law, Christopher Henry. I don't know if I can get him. Let's see if I can get him to talk to us. But when you have that happen, and the Prime Minister of the country walk out, it begs to ask a lot of questions. Is the Prime Minister afraid of something? Is the Prime Minister of Jamaica afraid that something may leak out? Is the Prime Minister of this country of ours afraid of something? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. Is the Prime Minister afraid of something tonight? Why he get up and walk out of the parliament? The Jamaican people have been asking for many times now, how on earth can you have a Prime Minister and his wife is the Speaker of the House? How can we have a Prime Minister and his wife is the Speaker of the House? This reminds me of Sri Lanka, where the Gupta's family run Sri Lanka, and everybody hold position in the parliament until the family run Sri Lanka into a wreck. And the people of Sri Lanka decided had enough. You know what the people of Sri Lanka did? They get up and took to the streets. And the dynasty that run Sri Lanka for many years had to step down. The dynasty that run Sri Lanka for many, many years, the dynasty that robbed the people of Sri Lanka, for many years, decided they had to step down because the people took to the streets and said that we have had enough of you people. Now I say today, this afternoon that what Mark Jefferson Golden did in the Parliament of Jamaica, the people of Jamaica, Mr. Golden, lift their hat to you, sir. On the Make We Talk program, what Mr. Golden did in the Parliament of Jamaica this afternoon, the members of the Jamaican diaspora, Mr. Golden, the members of the Jamaican diaspora in Canada and all over the globe, and the Jamaican people in Jamaica, lift our hat to you, sir. Yes, Mr. Golden. And what I would suggest to Mr. Golden is to take to the streets of Jamaica with the Jamaican people and demand that the Speaker of the House must step down. If she refuses to table the report, she needs to step aside. And so I say to Mr. Golden tonight, I respect you, sir, and the people of Jamaica need you, sir. Continue doing the work that you're doing, sir. I say this night that the time has come for us to stop the PNP and JLP thing and stand up for Jamaica. Mr. Golden made a speech for the Jamaican people tonight. He did not make a speech for the comrades, not for the Labour Party members. He made a speech for the Jamaican people. He made a speech for the Jamaican people this evening. Mr. Mark Jefferson Golden made a speech for the Jamaican people. And what happened in the Parliament where the Prime Minister walked out, that is not good politics. That is not good governing. The opposition leader was given his speech, his presentation to the Parliament for the budget debate of 24 to 25 financial year. And I've never seen this because I watch politics a lot. I have never seen where an opposition leader giving his speech and the governing side get up and walk out. I have never seen the Prime Minister get up and walk out. The Prime Minister lead his entire team out of the Parliament today. Now let's just show you the level of respect Prime Minister Andrew Holness have for the Jamaican people. That is to show the level of respect he has for us. The numbers to call is 954-529-8030. It's also a WhatsApp number. 954 529-8030. 954-529-8030. That's the number to call into the program. We're waiting to get a comment from somebody within the People's National Party. Hopefully I can get through to them. I know they're locked into a meeting, I was told. But let's see if we can get through to them. But what Mr. Golden did in the Parliament this afternoon, we lift our hat to Mark Jefferson Golden. And we, the Jamaican people, must stand up and demand that the Prime Minister, demand that the Speaker of the House step aside. Is either she table the report or she step down as Speaker. We cannot continue like this as a people. And I lift my hat to Mr. Golden when he decided to go out in front of the Parliament of Jamaica to continue his speech. He decided to step out and go to the Parliament of Jamaica, outside the Parliament of Jamaica, to continue his speech. Listen to him.
Period. All I can say to him, and I would have said it to him if we were still in the house, all I can say, if I were in your position, I would take with myself and hand over to someone else who is not compromised.
Yes.
superstar, the Honorable Usain Bolt, and many other innocent investors were carried down in the scandalous SSL fiasco. And we can't hear anything about charges being brought against the culprits. I have been told that the DPP's office is dragging their feet when there are a number of people that the Financial Investigations Division are seeking to bring charges against. In fact, in August last year, the Gleaner carried a report that from the FID that there were several persons that they were intending to move against with charges. That report is no longer on the Gleaner website, but I am told that the DPP's office is dragging their feet on this. The Kroll forensic report, which has cost taxpayers millions of dollars, was delivered to the government months ago. It must be released to the public so we can see what the findings are. Jamaica will not accept a
Now tell me something. When an opposition leader has to take his budget presentation outside the Parliament of Jamaica, what does that signify to you? What does that signify to you? Hold on there. There's a news coming into us where the Minister of Information is speaking to a news and a radio station. We're gonna get that clip in for you to listen to it. Bear with us, please. Bear with us, please. Because we need you to listen to this. Don't go anywhere. Listen to this. The Minister of Information is speaking to a news organization tonight. A radio station. You all know the radio station. Hold on for me. We're going to get it. Hold on for me. We're going to turn to it and get the reactions. Listen to this.
The substantive portion of Mark Golding's contribution to the budget debate. We are joined by senior lecturer at the Department of Economics in the Faculty of Social Sciences at the University of the West Indies, Mona, Dr. Christine Clark, and social commentator and economist Sandra Roden. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And good afternoon, Cliff and your listeners.
Good afternoon. Good. Let me begin with you, Dr. Christine Clark. We brought you here to deal with the substantive issues that were being addressed by Mr. Golding, but here we are. What do you make of what happened in the House this afternoon?
Well, I certainly thank you for filling me in on what happened after the walkout, because I also was wondering how this would actually be dealt with, as I also don't recall this ever happening since I guess I recall watching the budget debates. So thanks for indicating that there was indeed a continuation that unfortunately we did not catch. I guess I think it was unfortunate that this had to happen in this way. I think the opposition leader was almost at the end of his presentation and would have benefited from hearing, the full presentation based on what we received in text. But in terms of his presentation, I always try to say, okay, where are the minister would have started with the overall macro. I noticed, however, that the opposition leader's approach was quite specific. He had very specific proposals.
Whenever you're looking at economic policy, you have to look at what affects the whole. And when it looks at macroeconomic policy, we have to look at that. Now, the proposal in and of itself, I won't rubbish it and say it makes no sense, because we have to look at it based on
who in the society would benefit from the policy position. And what we can see is that there is a difference, at least in this specific area, as it relates to policy positions of the JLP and the PMP when it comes on to what they are proposing. So you can't say it's necessarily rubbish, you can't say it's a bad plan, but what you can say is that the opposition would have campaigned on raising the income tax threshold more than what the normally what we expect somebody to indicate if we say tax. The service we have.
Hold on there. We're trying to get the clipping where the gentleman was speaking to Nationwide. Hold on a minute for me. It's me alone working. Bear with me. Because we need to get it. We need to get a response from those people. You know? Hold on a minute for me. I want you to listen to this while I get the clippings.
Period. All I can say to him, and I would have said it to him if we were still in the house, all I can say, if I were in your position, I would take with myself and hand over to someone else who is not compromised. Yes. Jamaica's iconic global track superstar, the Honorable Usain Bolt, and many other innocent investors were carried down in the scandalous SSL fiasco. And we can't hear anything about charges being brought against the culprits. I have been told that the DPP's office is dragging their feet when there are a number of people that the Financial Investigations Division are seeking to bring charges against. In fact, in August last year, the Gleaner carried a report that from the FID that there were several persons that they were intending to move against with charges. That report is no longer on the Gleaner website, but I'm told that the DPP's office is dragging their feet on this. The Kroll forensic report, which has cost taxpayers millions of dollars, was delivered to the government months ago. It must be released to the public so we can see what the findings are. Jamaica will not accept a
You hear how much money it costs the government, it costs the country? It is taxpayers' money. It is taxpayers' money, you know. They're saying that the illicit six enrich themselves. Why is it that they can't table it in the parliament? Why the Prime Minister's wife is afraid to do it? Huh? Why the Prime Minister's wife is afraid to do it? That is the question this evening. That is the question that we must ask ourselves this evening. Why Mrs. Holness is afraid to table the report? And when the opposition leader, given his speech to the parliament, his budget presentation, they decide to walk out of the parliament. Because the thing is something, you know, they're not supposed to stay in there. So they walk out of the parliament. Listen to this again.
When the former speaker was forced to resign as a result of an integrity commission investigation, the move to replace her with the wife of the prime minister, so that the head of parliament is now the spouse of the head of government, really does not sit well with the tradition that the speaker must act independently of the government of the day. The speaker is intended to be independent and must act independently of the government of the day. That is the tradition. That is the tradition. The failure.
We have a call online. Yeah. Good night to us, caller. Good night to you, caller. Welcome to the program.
Welcome, sir. Mr. Golden never do nothing wrong today.
No.
No. But the other side, they cannot take the heat. That was a knockout punch.
Hello. Do you remember when was it Joe Fraser that get a knockout punch, or was it
right?
Which one get the knockout punch again? Remind me.
Joe Fraser and Kenny Norton was fight. Kenny Norton, what I done?
I can't remember which one.
I can't remember which one. But it seems like Mr. Golden was just jabbing until he gave him the knockout punch.
Do you remember the one that said, lick him, shrimpy, lick him?
Yes.
Lick him, Mark, lick him.
Yeah. That's the knockout punch you get.
Yes.
Yes, right on the button.
My.
He should be ashamed of himself. He should just call general election now.
You know what I don't understand with the Jamaican people, some of the Jamaican people, sir?
Yeah, oh my.
They'll hug up the corruption.
Yes.
They can't see that their party is wrong. It's all about their party. It's not about Jamaica.
Right.
It's not about Jamaica, it's about their party.
The party. Yeah, that's true. They don't care what this man do. No, it's a shame and disgrace. The whole world watching.
It's more than a shame and disgrace, sir.
Yes, sir. The whole world is watching.
And yet they have it to say that is the dirty 30 bringing down the country, sir.
No. I don't know where Jamaica's heading to.
We're knocking behind Haiti's back door, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for calling. Have a next call coming in, sir.
Yes, you're welcome, sir. You're welcome. Yes.
Good night. Welcome to the Make We Talk program. How can I help you?
Good night. Yes. This is the first music caller from England. Right? Yeah, you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. I'm hearing you.
Yes. What I cannot understand with the justice system in Jamaica, how can the Prime Minister wife be the head of the head of
the Parliament,
the Speaker of the House? You know, so that could never happen in England.
Never.
Could never happen in England. And that is a lack of confidence of interest. Right. And to see people support those things in Jamaica. So I wonder what's going to be the outcome of the country.
I don't know, sir, because somebody's saying that Mark Golden walked out 4 times. While Mr. Golden walked out, it wasn't a budget presentation. You know, some of us don't understand the dynamics of politics, you know.
No, but that should never happen. And the reason why it is, and I want to explain something to you now. Right. There's no justice. The justice system in Jamaica, the government interfere with the justice system, and they tie to the politics, to political, right? The justice system need to have an independent body that don't have nothing to do with the government.
True. Before you hold on for me, sir. Let me make something clear on the program here. Whether Philip Paulwell voted for Mrs. Holness to become Speaker or not, the Labour Party have majority in the Parliament. And if Mr. Paulwell get up and say they agree with it, what we need to remember, and I'm going to look for that video, that when the clerk of the Parliament got up and says, is there any other nomination? Is there the other nominee for Speaker of the House? No other person was nominated. The Deputy Speaker of the House, which is Mrs. Holness at the time, She was the one who was going to elevate her to speaker anyhow. So when Mr. Paul will get up and say he agree with the nomination, even if he had voted no, the government have enough vote to put her in.
But what I'm saying to you, regardless that, what I'm saying to you now is not Parliament supposed to run the justice system.
No.
And that's where the problem is. Right. What I'm saying to you, in England, Parliament does not run the justice system. The justice system run independent by itself. They choose who they want.
What you fail to understand, you know, sir, the Jamaican system is so corrupt. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That, you know, it doesn't matter who is there. Look what the DPP is doing now. Look what the DPP is doing.
The DPC should never have a job. She should never have a job.
The DPP is admitting to the high level of corruption in the courts, sir.
Yes, and she's supposed to be prosecuted. So how come she want to try back the same case again when she found guilty in corruption?
The Jamaican people need to do something about it, sir, but we're not doing anything because it's our party in power.
No, but you see what happened, because what I'm saying to the justice system too political, and that's where the problem is.
You can't tell
right?
You can't tell some of the Jamaican people that at all, sir.
No, but to be honest, whether PMP or JLP, right?
Yes.
Right? And I hope when Mark Golding come in power,
yes,
he bring in a different law to change those things.
Yes, sir.
What I'm saying to you,
we have an next call coming in, sir.
Saying,
go ahead.
All right. What I'm saying to you now, right? The Justice Department is too political.
Yes,
and it's too blamely political.
Yes, sir.
And that's where the problem is in Jamaica today.
All right, sir. Thanks for calling in.
Yes, sir. All right.
Thank you so much.
All right.
The number to call is 954-529-8030. 954-529-8030. (954-529-8030). That's the number to call into the program. 954-529-8030. That's the number to call into the program. Hold on for me. I think I have something here that I'm trying to get. Hold on. Oh, Lord. If the person who sent me this could just send it over, I would get it properly. But there's somebody who... Oh, there it is. Hold on. Hold on for me. There is something on the PNP website that we need to get. Let us stop this right here. There's something on the PNP website that we need to get to show the viewers. Let me look for it. I think this is on hold on, I think this is on their Facebook page. If my memory is, yes, it is on their Facebook page. Let us see if we can get it here. And it is Team PNP, I think. Yes. Hold on for me, please. Bear with me. We're gonna get it. Hold on for me, please. Here it is. We need to get this for you to listen to it, because it's something of importance. We have never seen where the opposition was given a speech and the government of Jamaica walked out of the parliament. Never in the history of Jamaica. We've never seen something like this. Democracy is at risk. Our democracy in our country is at risk. Hold on for me. Here we go. It's me alone working. You have to bear with me. Jamaica's democracy.
When I can start. Go.
Ramon?
Today was a sad day for our democracy in the sense that for the first time, the government in Parliament walked out during a budget debate and prevented the leader of the opposition from completing his presentation, denying the Parliament of a quorum, so the Speaker had no choice but to end the proceedings. And I, as leader of the opposition, was unable to finish my presentation. I didn't say anything offensive about anybody. I made a point of principle, which is that it doesn't sit well with the tradition in our parliamentary system, which requires the Speaker of the House to be independent of the government. For the wife of the Prime Minister, who's the head of government, to be the Speaker, which is effectively the head of Parliament. And these concerns are not just my concerns. Many Jamaicans feel that way. And in fact, the international community also has concerns about it because it's really a very unusual situation. And indeed, the Prime Minister, who in an emotional fit stood up and walked out and precipitated the situation which brought the proceedings to an end, really himself reinforced the validity of the point I was making, that there needs to be proper independence between the Speaker and the government. And by virtue of them being spouses, there is none. That was the point I was making. And her conduct, Mrs. Holness's conduct, has given rise to concerns by not tabling the reports of the Auditor General on a timely basis as they arrive. There are reports which have been, I'm told, reached Parliament from January, which have included Auditor General performance audit reports that have not been paid. By determining that certain reports of the Integrity Commission must be sent to an oversight committee within Parliament, which is dominated by the government side and chaired by the government side, before those reports are tabled and made public. These are issues of grave concern to me, as somebody who believes in the parliamentary system and in democracy, and indeed for many Jamaicans. So this is why I thought it was essential to make this point in my presentation. And the reaction of the Prime Minister to it reinforced my concern. Furthermore, Mrs. Holness has refused to make public or even share with us as members of Parliament and senators the legal opinion which she claims justifies the position she's taken. If that is the case, then why isn't she sharing it with us? It wasn't given to her in her personal capacity. It was sent because it concerns matters affecting Parliament in a very fundamental way. To deprive the Parliament of the benefit of that legal opinion is itself an egregious act, inconsistent with transparency in the way we conduct our parliamentary affairs. What I believe happened was that when the speech was shared in Parliament and the Prime Minister saw the points that were coming after the point I was making, he decided to take this action because he didn't want me to have the opportunity of making those points in Parliament in front of him. And what are those points that I'm referring to? The next point I was going to make was that the illicit six, which is a matter of grave concern in the country, is another instance where governance in Jamaica is being brought to a lower end, where 6 MPs are under investigation for illicit enrichment. And the Prime Minister not only has declined to make public who they are, but has put a gag order on his cabinet forbidding them from talking to the media on any issues relating to the Integrity Commission. And the point I was going to make after that was that the Prime Minister, as head of government, cannot be in a situation where he's not in good standing with the Integrity Commission of the country. He has failed to have his statutory declaration certified. That statutory declaration lists his assets, his liabilities, and his income. And for successive years, the Integrity Commission has not certified and published a summary of his declaration. That is an untenable situation for Jamaica. And I was, in my speech, the next point I was going to make was to say, if I were in his position, I would take away myself and replace myself with somebody else who is not compromised. The Prime Minister knew that was what was coming next. He couldn't face the heat So we decided to walk out. First time ever in the history of Jamaica, the government ends the budget presentation of the leader of the opposition by pulling out their members and denying the parliament a quorum so the proceedings couldn't be completed. I'm glad I was able to, on Duke Street, standing on a wall, addressing those who were there, finish my speech right then and then. But it's a shame that I was unable to do so in the parliament of the land.
The opposition seconded Mrs. Holness's ascension to the speaker chair.
On September
Why
26th,
raise an issue now as opposed to when she assumed the chair in September last year?
Two things I would say about that. First of all, when that arose, we were not briefed in advance. We weren't consulted with. I was not in Parliament that day. And the clerk of the House presented the leader of opposition business with the script and said, this is a tradition that the opposition seconds the motion. And he had no opportunity to consult with any of our members, and he decided to follow the tradition that he was told existed.
Are you saying
furthermore, her conduct subsequent to that appointment has reinforced the issue of principle, which gave rise to my concern. Because as I've said, she has adopted a course of action where reports are not being presented and tabled on a timely basis. And a timely basis in this context means as soon as they arrive, they are to be tabled and made public. And she is not doing that. And she has not released the opinion of the Attorney General, which was given to Parliament for the benefit of Parliament, to advise Parliament. She has not released it. She says justifies her actions, but we don't know because we haven't had an opportunity to see it. And Integrity Commission reports, some of them, she has said, are to be sent to an oversight committee, which the government dominates in terms of numbers. They have the vast majority on that oversight committee. They chair that oversight committee. So they can decline to have it tabled. They can string that out as long as they wish. That is not consistent with proper governance in the country. And I thought it was an appropriate occasion and necessary for me to say that I have concerns that this does not sit well with the tradition of the Speaker of the Parliament being an independent umpire of the proceedings of Parliament. And the Prime Minister's actions today reinforce those concerns.
But why would the leader of opposition business co-sign something that the opposition in general seems to be against at this point?
Go ahead.
Could you step in, please, sir?
Firstly, since independence, every elected government has been able to secure the speaker that elected government was involved. It has never happened that an opposition objects to the speaker proposed. And we're fulfilling the tradition. It has happened when we are a government, and I have been a long-standing member of the Parliament, and it will, I believe, continue to happen, that the formality of electing a speaker is just that. The government, as the majority player in the Parliament, can elect whoever it wishes. It is the tradition of the opposition to second it. And in fact, a vote was taken, and it was passed unanimously.
But surely, if it's a matter of principle that you're objecting on, you could have opposed her appointment, which you did. Which is, I'm asking you, opposition leader, did Mr. Paul make the wrong move in not objecting to the appointment of Mrs. Holness as House Speaker on September 26th last year?
I'm not sitting in judgment of the leader of opposition business. He was put in a position with no prior consultation. We weren't told what was happening. He came to Parliament. I wasn't there. And he was presented by us with a script by the clerk and told this is a tradition. And the tradition is that the opposition seconds the motion because the idea is that the speaker is supposed to be independent and have the trust and confidence of all parliamentarians on both sides. My issue is that she has not displayed by her conduct that kind of independence because she has continued on a course of action, which is to delay the tabling of reports, important reports that no doubt may criticize aspects of what's happening in the public sector. And we are not getting to see them on a timely basis.
Are you calling for her resignation on that?
I'm not calling for anything. I'm just saying that it doesn't sit well. I would love the government to they should reconsider the position and decide whether in the context of what has happened, they ought to continue with the status quo. You know, I just thought that it was a legitimate point to make when I'm speaking about good governance. that aspect of my speech had a series of issues around governance in the country. And this is a live issue in Jamaica now. Mark Golding is not the only person who has this concern. This concern is shared widely across Jamaica and abroad with our diaspora.
There was a conversation between Mr. Powell and Ms. Grange behind the Speaker's chair earlier this afternoon. Did that discussion not bear any fruit to have them to return to Parliament to have you complete your speech?
Well, I was trying to urge her members to return to allow the leader of the opposition to complete his presentation. I pointed out how unprecedented this was and the implications it has for the remainder of the debate. She did not relent.
Does this irreparably damage parliamentary discourse? Bearing in mind that you could do a tit for tat, or you could really walk out when the Prime Minister gets up in Parliament on Thursday.
I certainly think that it has spoiled the budget debate. It has made the budget debate not what it should be, because the opposition has not had an opportunity to complete their presentation, especially the leaders' presentation, on issues which are very important to the country, around governance of the country. That is when they pulled the plug, because they didn't like to hear the truth that was being presented to them by me this afternoon. And so it will affect our future participation in this budget debate.
Will it be in Parliament on Thursday?
You will see. You will see.
Yes.
We are considering that matter. But my present inclination is that the parliamentary, the budget process has been irreparably undermined by their actions.
What if the government digs in its heels and says it's not going to change, it's not going to take, it's going to maintain it as it is? What next for the opposition?
We will continue to make the points that we're making. We're not here to try and persuade the government. We are answerable to the people. And the people spoke on the 26th of February and gave us a majority across the country. We had over 21,000 more votes than the Jamaica Labour Party. And we are responding to that because the people want us to act in their interests. And their interests demand that we stand up for what is right in the country and not to just allow things to continue to slide down this precipice of bad governance and unprincipled decisions on critical issues.
Do you think this was just a rush of blood to the head and you forced things to subside, good sense being prevailed?
I hope so. I think it was a terrible error on the part of the Prime Minister. He let his emotions determine his actions. And I think he has put himself in an invidious position by creating history by walking out. When has a government ever walked out of its own parliament when it has a majority? It's absurd. It's frankly absurd. And I believe that when they reflect, I hope that they will see the error of their ways. I did not say anything offensive. I wasn't rude. I simply said that to have the head of government in the country and the head of the parliament in the speaker as spouses does not sit well with the tradition in our parliamentary democracy, and not just Jamaica, across the world that has our system of having a speaker who is independent of the government. This is a very important matter because the speaker is the umpire. We had some concerns, but we decided not to take an issue with it after she was appointed. Leader of opposition business didn't object at the time, and I was prepared to work with it. But having seen what has happened since, with these reports not being tabled on a timely basis, Integrity Commission reports, some of them being sent to the Oversight Committee, which the government controls, which they may never be published in that eventuality. And seeing that the opinion that they're relying on from the Attorney General, given to the Parliament, they won't share it with the public and with us to know whether or not the justifications are sound in law. I just feel it's a very bad situation that has happened under her watch, and I thought I should bring it to the public's attention that this is a matter of concern.
Have you written to the Prime Minister about the issue?
About what?
Have you written to the Prime Minister raising concern about the issue?
I raised it in the Parliament today, and so when I write to the Prime Minister, he never replies.
Why did it take you so long to raise it in the Parliament?
I have spoken. Julian has spoken on the matter of the reports not being tabled on several occasions. So have I. This is a budget presentation when I get to speak in an unfettered way on whatever issues affecting the nation that I choose to raise. That's the one opportunity I have. I don't have that opportunity to speak freely in Parliament generally because of the rules of how Parliament is conducted. I chose to make the point today when the nation would be listening, and which is it's a significant moment. The budget presentation of the leader of the opposition. I thought it was the right time to do it.
It was the speaker who raised the issue of the quorum, sir. Was that appropriate versus someone on the floor of the parliament raising that issue?
I think it was brought to their attention by Mr. Warmington, who has been fired, but is still very much in their minds and dictating how they operate, apparently.
Has any members of the government reached out to you and said, well, look, Mark, that was unfortunate?
Not yet. I have a ton of messages on my phone which I haven't gone through yet, but I'm not aware that they've reached out. But I would very much like them to do so. I hope some of the cooler heads will see that this was a really unforced error on their part, and that they retrieve the situation so that, you know, we can feel more comfortable about participating in the budget debate. But as it stands now, I must say I feel that they've destroyed this budget debate.
Will they give you time on Thursday to finish your presentation?
I don't know. I completed my presentation on Duke Street on a whole brick wall in front of the crowd. And even though I didn't have a microphone, it was picked up quite clearly on the audio that I've seen it and I've heard it. So, you know, I've said my piece on that. You know, whether they want to allow me to complete or not, I would certainly, if they offer it, I'll consider it. Because the points that I didn't get to make are the points I really want to make.
Should Mrs. Holness step aside, sir? Should Mrs. Holness step aside?
I personally think that on reflection and seeing the way it has unfolded, it would be best if we had a speaker who one could say is independent of the government.
So she should step aside?
But you know, ultimately, that decision is already made. And for her to step aside or not is really up to her and her husband.
There you have it, a press conference. A press conference by opposition leader Mark Golding. Now we have his entire speech outside of the Parliament of Jamaica. And we're going to play this speech for you. We got a little peek of the speech. Now we have the entire speech outside the Parliament. Now let's get it. I'll let you listen to his entire speech outside the Parliament this afternoon. Oh Lord, sorry, not this one. Oh God. Sorry, not this. I do apologize. Bear with me, please. We're going to get it now. We're going to get his speech that he gave outside the Parliament this afternoon, where he has some Jamaicans standing out there, and he did speak. Now let's get
when the Prime Minister chose to walk. I don't have a microphone, but I'd like to finish my speech. I'm very near the end. So I hope somebody will film this. And I hope that you'll be able to hear what I say.
Never the media here?
Yes.
Hold on, 1 second.
Your media?
Yes, from the Gleaner.
He's from the Gleaner.
Oh, Gleaner. All right.
Can you hear me though?
Yes, I
can.
Yeah. The point I was making when the Prime Minister chose to walk out and was left the Parliament without a quorum. I think it's the first time this has ever happened in independent Jamaica. That in a budget speech, the opposition has been denied the opportunity to finish their presentation. And here I am assembled on Duke Street. I was near the end anyway, but there were some important points that needed to be made. And I'm going to continue. The point I made when they walked out was this. When the former speaker was forced to resign as a result of an Integrity Commission investigation, the move to replace her with the wife of the Prime Minister, so that the head of Parliament is now the spouse of the head of government, does not sit well with the tradition that the Speaker must act independently of the government of the day. That is a fundamental principle of the Westminster system of democracy. And it is protected in a number of ways. For example, in the United Kingdom, nobody runs against the Speaker in an election. They make sure the Speaker is elected because that person is supposed to be independent. So that, I think, that move to do what happened in our case here was inconsistent with that level of independence that's required. The failure to disclose the identity of the so-called illicit 6 MPs who are under investigation by the Integrity Commission for illicit enrichment remains a festering sore, only made worse by the Prime Minister's gag order on his own cabinet ministers from speaking publicly on matters to do with the Integrity Commission. The Prime Minister's statutory declarations of assets and liabilities and income have not been certified and published by the Integrity Commission for successive years. It is untenable for the head of government of Jamaica not to be in good standing with the country's Integrity Commission for a prolonged period. All I can say to him, and I would have said it to him if we were still in the house, all I can say, if I were in your position, I would take with myself and hand over to someone else who is not compromised.
Showing up on the first page of Google might not be the best for everyone. But for business owners that
Jamaica's iconic global track superstar, the Honorable Usain Bolt, and many other innocent investors were carried down in the scandalous SSL fiasco, and we can't hear anything about charges being brought against the culprits. I have been told that the DPP's office is dragging their feet when there are a number of people that the Financial Investigations Division are seeking to bring charges against. In fact, in August last year, the Gleaner carried a report that from the FID that there were several persons that they were intending to move against with charges. That report is no longer on the Gleaner website, but I'm told that the DPP's office is dragging their feet on this. The Kroll forensic report, which has cost taxpayers millions of dollars, was delivered to the government months ago. It must be released to the public so we can see what the findings are. Jamaica will not accept a cover-up of this shameful debacle, which has tainted our country's reputation as a safe and well-regulated place for Jamaicans at home and abroad to save and invest. In fact, a commission of inquiry into this SSL scandal will be needed. Jamaica is crying out for change in this area. This is why I have identified an entire cluster of portfolios within our own governance structure to address the now desperate area of transparent and accountable governance. We must translate good governance principles into tangible action that restores trust and confidence in our leaders and preserves our cherished freedoms and democratic way of life. Change means no more hiding of the truth from Jamaicans. Change means no more deception in official public communication. Change means putting transparency and communication at the heart of good governance. It affirms that respect is due to those who elect governments and pay taxes. That's why we will implement a comprehensive strategy centered around engagement and accessibility. Our aim is to ensure that every voice is heard, to bridge the gap between leadership and the people. This means holding town hall meetings, physical and virtual, to give every citizen a voice in the decision-making process. It means conducting community walks, listening to the concerns of our constituents, and working together to find solutions. It means providing regular progress reports on projects and programs and keeping the public informed and involved every step of the way. Change means practicing accountability as a central principle of good governance. That's why, after the terrible incident of the woman being beaten in public with a stool, I tabled an impeachment bill in the House of Representatives in 2021 to provide a mechanism to hold to account any parliamentarian whose egregious conduct brings his or her office into disrepute. Despite this having been a manifesto promise of this JLP government from the 2016 general elections, my impeachment bill has not been allowed to go forward to a joint select committee for wide stakeholder consultation and then be passed into law. They don't believe in accountability. When I entered the political arena, there were some entrenched ways of doing things. Making change happen requires a fresh approach. Things will be very different under my watch because I will tolerate none of it. The last PNP had
You hear what the opposition leader said? You hear what the opposition leader said? Things will be different under his watch. Things will be different under his watch. Let's listen to some more.
administration put local government in the Constitution. We passed the 3 strategic laws to modernize the legal framework of local government in keeping with modern best practices. One of those laws, the Local Governance Act, makes provision in Section 18 for the recall of an elected mayor, and it may be initiated by a petition alleging a charge of gross misconduct or dereliction of duty, and it has to be signed by at least 25% of the registered voters in the city municipality. The next PNP government will institute a fair and balanced recall system for elected officials, both at the local government and parliamentary level, to deepen accountability and empower the voters with recourse where they are badly let down by whoever they elect to parliament. Change means not taking away the rights of the people of Portmore without proper consultations with them, followed by a referendum to let them make the decision whether or not they want to give up their city municipality status and their right to directly elect their mayor, a right given to them by the People's National Party. Jamaica has spoken, and the PNP has listened to the concerns of the people. We are offering solutions based on thorough research and consultation with our stakeholders. We will embark on this journey together with the people towards a future where opportunity for advancement is not a privilege, but a right for all. We commit to good governance for the people of Jamaica, not as some abstract concept, but as a living promise fulfilled to every citizen of our nation. We are on a fast track on the road to change, and we invite all Jamaicans along this exciting journey in a spirit of hope for a better and brighter future for all our people. And I would have ended, thank you, Madam Speaker, but I won't end that way because I'm not in the Parliament. I'm on Duke Street with my...
Better someday, my countrymen all, awake from your slumber and answer the call. The torch has been lighted, the dawn is at hand. Who joins in the fight for his own native land? Land of my birth, I race to be loyal and faithful, true to thee.
My. A fiery speech given by opposition leader Mark Jefferson Golden outside the Parliament of Jamaica this afternoon. When he gave his speech inside the Parliament, the government headed by the Prime Minister of Jamaica walked out of the Parliament because he asked, in his speech, he presented questions about the Speaker of the House and why she hasn't tabled the report that was given to her. Mr. Golden decided to take to the streets of Kingston, Jamaica, outside the Parliament of Jamaica, and finish his speech to the people of Jamaica. He ends by saying that they will stand up for the Jamaican people. And overall the entire speech, he ended with the trumpet, the song of the People's National Party. The Jamaican people have seen the behavior of this Prime Minister tonight in the Parliament of Jamaica. Well, it never happened in the history of Jamaica before, where an opposition leader is given his budget presentation and the Prime Minister of the country leader walk out of the Parliament of Jamaica. People around the world is looking at Jamaica's democracy tonight. People around the globe is looking at Jamaica's democracy. And they're asking the question, what is going on in Jamaica? People in the Caribbean is asking themselves the question, is this the country or is this the administration that want to have dialogues and organize talks for the people of Haiti. Jamaicans from all walks of life is questioning the Prime Minister tonight. Jamaicans are asking the Prime Minister, are you truly a patriotic Jamaican? Are you truly standing up for the Jamaican people, Prime Minister Holness? Or are you becoming a dictator? Is Jamaica becoming a dictatorial state? Those are the questions we're going to ask ourselves this evening. But I really love the speech that was given by opposition leader Mark Jefferson Golding. I really love the speech. This speech is a fiery speech. A speech that was given by Michael Manley. What Mr. Golding did this afternoon was to walk out of the parliament, and he stood on Duke Street in front of the Parliament of Jamaica. And he addressed the Jamaican people. He spoke to the Jamaican people. He's finished his budget presentation to the Jamaican people. The Jamaica Gleaner was there, and they brought it to the people of Jamaica. And that is good. My fellow Jamaicans from all walks of life, the time has come for us to stand up for this country and to rally around a single cause and a single purpose. And that is why you all need to rally around the one legal defense fund. We cannot continue having these people in the parliament who believe that we're beneath them. What they need to understand, Prime Minister Holness, the word minister means the servant of the people of Jamaica, sir. And what you did this afternoon in the parliament is a boy-like behavior. It's very childish. We are very thin-skinned, Prime Minister Holness. It reminds me of when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock on the stage of a presentation. And what it reminds me of. Mr. Golding gave the Prime Minister an uppercut this afternoon. An uppercut that the Prime Minister will never recover from. Mr. Golding gave the Prime Minister and the entire Labour Party government an uppercut. You gave them an uppercut this afternoon, Mr. Golding, on the behalf of the Jamaican people. And you did a great job, sir. One Jamaica Legal Defense Fund. Mr. Golding gave the Prime Minister an uppercut on the behalf of the nurses and doctors of this country. Mr. Golding gave the Prime Minister an uppercut on the behalf of the firefighters, the teachers, the Golden Agers, and every single Jamaican I was watching. And those beyond the shores of this country. Mr. Golding gave the Prime Minister and the Jamaica Labour Party uppercut that they will never regain conscience from. And as we say goodnight to you tonight, we're going to see if we can take about 2 more calls if you wish to call in to the program. The number is 954-529-8030. If you wish to call into the program to give your input on Mr. Golding's speech a while ago. If not, we're going to say goodnight for tonight. But I believe Mr. Golding gave an uppercut this evening. Support the One Jamaica Legal Defense Fund. It's a movement that the Jamaican people need to support. Go to the One Jamaica Legal Defense Fund and donate. One moment, please. Good night. Welcome to the Make We Talk program.
Go to the one. Hello. Good evening.
Good night, sir. I'm hearing you. Yes, go ahead.
How are you?
I am here looking and living, sir.
Okay. Am I live?
You're live on air, sir. Yes.
Okay. So, what I want to talk about is, I don't know if it has ever happened before.
What?
Where a government in the middle of a budget speech
Never. Never
would
happened
find
in
it
the history of Jamaica
appropriate
before, sir.
to walk out while the opposition leader is delivering a budget speech, hence interrupting the process. Hello?
Yes, sir. I'm hearing you. Go ahead, sir.
Right. Hence interrupting the process. It's a new precedence, and in my opinion, probably a new law as far as our democratic process is supposed to work. And I just want to say that the point that the opposition leader was making about having his wife, yes, she's an elected member of parliament, but we cannot look beyond the fact that they are family. And the nation's business is not your home's business. And if you have your spouse that is sitting on top of the parliament seat and there's something that is not necessarily in the favor of your husband who is the prime minister, then naturally you're going to lead towards that direction. So I don't think the question was unreasonable. And as a matter of fact, I don't know why the appointment was made in the first place and why was it supported by the opposition.
Did you
This
hear
is
what
not a valid.
did you hear what the opposition leader said in his press conference a while ago, sir?
Yes, I heard him said that he wasn't in parliament on the day, and whoever the representative leader of government business went along with it. But I'm saying I cannot accept that.
No. Hold on for me. What the opposition leader said that when the opposition leader of government business came to the parliament, the clerk of the parliament came to him and said it is in the tradition of the parliament for the opposition to support whosoever the vote as speaker. The clerk of the court came to Mr. Paulwell and said it to him, sir. Now that's why they end up going. That's why they end up going and supporting it. Whether they support it, yes or no, she was going to become the speaker anyhow.
I understand and I hear, but in my opinion, I'm saying to you, Mr. Paulwell, being a very experienced parliamentarian, should have and would have known that, or at least should have read the document and consulted before supporting it. I know he couldn't hold on. I know he could not have stopped it, but at least it would be on record to say that from the beginning, we do not support this move.
True.
That is important.
Thank you very much, sir.
That is important.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thanks much.
Thank you.
Thanks. For those who want to call in, the number is 954-529-8030. 954-529-8030. What is your take on what happened in the parliament today? We have been at it from about 6 o'clock this evening. We're going to cut off pretty soon, but the numbers to call is 954-529-8030. It's also a WhatsApp number. Good night. Welcome to the Make We Talk program.
Yes, sir. Good night, Mr. Jeffrey.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. This man, Mr. Gold, is that man from the country still, you know?
You have on the TV in the background, sir?
Yes, sir. I'll turn it down.
Please.
I'll turn it down.
Whenever anybody call into the program, I'm asking you, please, turn off your device in the background, please. Please turn off your device. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. This man, Mr. Gold, this man from the country, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Angel needs to go. He needs to step aside, you know? He have too much anger. This thing is not for him, you know?
You're so
he just need to step aside.
Yes, sir. Thanks for calling in.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Pleasant good night. Welcome to the Make We Talk program. You're live. Where are you calling from?
Calling from New York, Jeffrey.
Hey, how you doing, my friend?
Not body, Akron sound system, man. Just in reference to the person that called, not the last one, the one before. If he had listened to the press conference with Mark Golden,
yes,
he would have understood that they were having concerns with her being, suggested to be, and they agreed. They said they forego the whole concerns that they had. But he got issues thinking that she would have acted as the umpire, as the neutral person.
Thank you.
But then she started to show her party colors. And this is when he has issues with it and decide that enough is enough, because she's not tabling things. She's not acting on the behalf of Jamaica. She's acting on behalf of the Jamaica Labour Party. So this is when he took issues with it. So people can say all that they want, but I think that this gentleman, Mark Golden, he allowed the process to run itself, because of course, you could have jumped up and be like them and just fight down everything that is presented to you. No, he gave it an opportunity and a chance to run itself. And it did what? It failed.
Yes.
And now he spoke up about it, and then they get upset. Jamaicans, we need to stop justifying that the PNP walk out of the parliament 6 times or whatever. There is a change, and the change has to start, and I think the change start now. It is starting. I am seeing what I want to see from Mark Golden, and I think a lot of people are seeing it. We need an opposition that has the balls, the brains, the spine to stand up against tyranny.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? And
Yes,
I like this. I like this.
Thank you
And
very
Jeffrey,
much.
you have to come in there again, because you always bring it to it, undiluted on time.
Thank
Big
you
up
very
yourself.
much. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Good night. Welcome to the Make We Talk program.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I just have a little thing to say about what happened in the House today. Every intelligent Jamaican have a problem with the Prime Minister wife as the speaker. It's not only Mark Golden's problem. Majority of Jamaican have a problem with it, because there is no transparency, because everything she's gonna rule on the side of her husband. So this is a Jamaican problem.
Indeed.
It's not only a Mark Golden problem. All of us that are Jamaican have a problem with her, because it's not right. A dictatorship, Andrew Holness are used to run the country. That's why he plant him wife in that position. I saw dictatorship start out, You plant your general where you want them. And as a Jamaican, I have a problem with it. So people are saying is Mark Golden problem, but every intelligent Jamaican should have a problem with her in that position.
True.
It's definitely, because it's dictatorship he's using. And then when Mark Golden raised it up, he get upset and walk out. What you are doing, that is insulting our intelligence. Because we supposed to accept whatever he do. We're not supposed to say nothing. That's dictatorship.
One thing I know, sir, Mr. Golden, along with the People's National Party, gave the Prime Minister of this country one of the biggest uppercuts they have ever received in his entire life. And he'll never recover from this. And he has disrespected the people of Jamaica by walking out of the parliament.
Exactly. That's my point. He insults all intelligent, rational thinking Jamaican when he get up and walk out. Because that's disrespecting to us, because he should sit there and hear the truth. He don't want to hear the truth. And a dictator don't want to hear the truth. A dictator feel that them have a rule whatever way they gonna rule, and nobody not supposed to object. So once you object, if him could have do better, he would have punched Mark Golden in the mouth. Actually, him can't do better, making it up and walk. The man was upset.
Not only him alone. If Warmington could have thumped Mr. Golden, he'd have done it in the parliament, sir.
Exactly. That's why you say, you know that, if I study the labor right people, these people, no, I'm not going to say pick on labor right, but I'm just saying, They are taking things to another level. They are taking the regular Jamaican people as idiots. That's exactly how they act like they are so intelligent and they are so big and mighty that the small man at the bottom have no say. So anything that they say, that's what goes. No, nobody is supposed to object. So he's the prime minister. His wife is the speaker. No, I want to ask Andrew Holness this question. In which commonwealth you ever heard that the prime minister wife is the speaker of the house? So I don't understand why he gets upset. He is treating us like we don't have any sense and everybody is his children. And these things have to stop. Andrew Holness is taking this thing too far.
Wow. I'm telling you, sir. The country. The late Wilmot Perkins once said the center cannot hold mayor and occupant the land, sir.
You know, and when people show him up, I don't understand why he gets so upset. Because what Mark Golding said is the truth. So he should just sit there. He don't have to like it, but he could just sit there and say, and shake his head and, you know, and then just let it go on. Because is the truth is the truth.
Well, the truth have always been an offense, sir.
Why he think that when the opposition come and say something to him, the opposition is representing the people. So are we tell Mark Golding to go tell him that? Because he representing us. So we don't like it. And we can go speak in the house. So we say, Mark, you know, go tell him. This is what we Jamaican people want to send to him. That we don't want his wife to be the speaker of the house. So Mark, go and tell him. So why he get upset is the Jamaican people sending the message to him. And wait until election time come. He will get that message.
You know, a lot of people are saying, Andrew, call it, Andrew, call it.
He doesn't realize what's coming to him. And he doesn't realize that we have enough. And he's our brother, you know. And we are Jamaican, so we love him. But the thing is that right is right and wrong is wrong. And if you're going off track, I'm going to have to tell us, brother, you're going off track. And if you cannot accept that you're going out, because when Mark Golding says something to him, is we, the people in the street, he said, Mark, we don't like this. And we want you to go to Parliament and bring our concern to the Prime Minister.
But look at this, sir. How on earth, in which other modern democracy, sir, can a Speaker of the House get some report to be tabled in the Parliament and she sit on them? And she expect the parliamentarians to sit down and accept that she's sitting on them, sir?
Well, but exactly that's why we don't want her to be the Speaker. That's exactly the point. That's exactly the point why we don't want her to be the Speaker. And you know, that's all I got to say, man. Somebody else want to call, so
yes.
You know, take up. Okay, have a good evening.
Thank you very much for calling in, sir. Thank you so much for calling in. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. Right
yeah, man.
Here.
Very good program, man. I like it.
Thank you very much, sir.
Because you give a voice to the voiceless.
Thank you. I try my best.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Remember, the numbers to call is 954-529-8030. It's also a WhatsApp number. Call in 954-529-8030. For those who are calling in and you got a busy signal, continue calling. You can get through now. Call in now. You can get through now. I have about 3 to 4 missed calls on the phone here. Call in now and let us have a discussion because we're going to go off anytime soon. Thank you very much for coming on. The numbers is 954-529-8030. There was a big uproar in the Parliament of Jamaica today. There's a big uproar going on in the Parliament. Hold on a minute for me, please. I want to play back something here. I'm getting a little message from somebody within the People's National Party camp. Let's see if I can play this and then come back to you.
Yes. But I'd like to finish my speech. I'm very near the end. Yes. So I hope somebody will film this. And I hope that you'll be able to hear what I say.
You're going to media here?
Yes.
Hold on, 1 second.
Your media?
Yes, from the Gleaner.
He's from the Gleaner.
Oh, Gleaner, all right.
Can you hear me though?
Yes,
Yeah. The point I was making when the Prime Minister chose to walk out and was left the Parliament without a quorum. I think it's the first time this has ever happened in independent Jamaica. That in a budget speech, the opposition has been denied the opportunity to finish their presentation. And here I am assembled on Duke Street. I was near the end anyway, but there were some important points that needed to be made. And I'm going to continue. The point I made when they walked out was this. When the former speaker was forced to resign as a result of an Integrity Commission investigation, the move to replace her with the wife of the Prime Minister, so that the head of Parliament is now the spouse of the head of government, does not sit well with the tradition that the speaker must act independently.
We have with us oppositions. Well, sorry, we have with us former member of Parliament Andre Hilton, who was in the Parliament today. Mr. Hilton, PNP, a former PNP member of Parliament. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you, Brother Tavares. How are you? And good night to all your listeners and viewers.
Yes, sir. What happened in the Parliament today? Can you tell us, because you're in the Parliament, what really happened in the Parliament today, sir?
Well, as you know, the Westminster system of Parliament has a period annually that we have the budget debate. Today's day was for the opposition leader to speak to the budget presented by the Minister of Finance. After Prime Minister will speak, and the Minister of Finance will get closing comments.
Right.
Now, when an opposition leader gets a chance to speak in Parliament during the budget debate, it is an opportunity for him to speak on pretty much anything that he wishes to speak on of national importance.
Yes, sir.
No, I think the party leader, Comrade Mark Golding, did an excellent job in tearing apart the budget presented and pointed out the holes that were in the budget. He did an excellent job speaking to some of the proposals made by Minister of Finance, the Honorable Nigel Clark. Close to the end of his presentation, the opposition leader, Mark Golding, spoke now on the issue of good governance and highlighted some of the problems that the Jamaican society is having with this present government in terms of integrity issues, in terms of trust, in terms of things that just did not sit well with the Jamaican population.
Yes,
he pointed out to the illicit six that to date, the Speaker of the House has refused to table those reports to Parliament. She has referred them to a committee that is controlled by the government. And so Comrade Golding highlighted how disgusted all well-thinking Jamaicans are about that conduct. He also pointed out that, and these are my words now, there are three pillars of government: the judiciary, the legislative arm, and the executive. Now, when you have a wife and a husband controls two of those pillars of government and sleep on the same pillow, it does not sit well with the Jamaican people.
Something smells stinks.
That something not right. Well, Jamaicans don't like it. It looks, it smells like nepotism, and even if there's nothing to it, it just doesn't look good. At that point, the Prime Minister got up and proceeded to walk out, and the other members of the government walked out with him. Now, there were some other things that the leader said afterwards, but
before
at
you
that
go,
point,
Mr. Hilton, before you go to that point, sir, you're in the well of the Parliament, eh?
Yes.
Okay. Could you tell us what did you hear what Mr. Warmington said in the Parliament, sir?
Well, you know, I didn't listen much to what he said. It's really a lot of chatter.
Yes.
And he came after walking out. He came back in to inform the House or the Speaker of the House
Yes.
that without a quorum, the House cannot continue sitting.
Oh.
And at that point, they referred to the section in the standing orders that related to a quorum if a quorum does not exist. My dear brother Tavares, it's a very bad day in the parliament, and
dark day in Jamaican
it's
history,
bad
sir.
for democracy. It's bad for democracy. It should never have been done. What the party leader said has been said by many others all the time. It has been spoken about, has been aired in the public domain, and there was nothing disrespectful. There was nothing untoward. It is just echoing a sentiment and pointing out to the Jamaican people the issue of lack of transparency and lack of good governance.
Yes.
And so there was nothing wrong with it. So they ended the parliament, and the party leader, along with his all the former parliamentarians like myself who were there, the sitting MPs and senators, went down on Duke Street where the comrades were eagerly awaiting to hear the completion of his presentation. And he stood on the walls of one of the old buildings of downtown Kingston and made a masterful presentation.
Remind me of Michael Manley.
Yes, and he completed his presentation there, which pleased the comrades and the people. It's wrong what they did, I believe, and it's going to hurt the JLP. It's gonna affect the Andrew Holness administration in a very negative way, because it shows that it is truly a love affair thing that is going on, because he should never have taken this personal. It's a criticism that should be laid at any government that has an arrangement where the legislatory head of the legislatory arm of government and the executive are wife and husband. It don't look good, it doesn't spell right, and we should never have had it.
Let me ask you a question, Mr. Andrew Hilton. And for those who are just joining us, I am speaking to former Member of Parliament Andrew Hilton of the People's National Party, who was in the well of the Parliament today. Mr. Hilton, you're a Jamaican. All of us are Jamaicans. When we see something like this happening in the Parliament, sir, where the Prime Minister of the country, the Chief Servant of the country, walk out of the Parliament during a budget debate, sir, and his MPs and other people follow him, what signal is that sending to the younger Jamaicans who are coming up?
Well, you see, if to me, if there was something to walk out about, I could understand. But what is really ironic about this whole thing here, Jeffrey, I have never seen a government walking out on itself. Because it's just 14 MPs on the opposition side, and there are 49, and you're walking as you are in charge of the government. So it's not, you can understand an opposition not getting justice walking out, but I can't see a government walking out on themselves. You know, somebody made a statement that they should repeat what that KD Knight said. You should pack your bags and go.
Hello, I have been looking for that video clip.
It's a bad move, bad move. Yes.
I've been looking for that video clip that KD said, and you, Prime Minister, pack your bags and go.
And go, yeah. Yes, you're pathologically mendacious.
Indeed.
Yes.
Mr. Hilton, in all of this, sir, I have been calling for this. That what the People's National Party should do now, sir, headed by opposition leader Mark Golding, is to gather the Jamaican people together and lead a peaceful demonstration to the Parliament of Jamaica, demanding that the Speaker of the House table the report. If she don't want to table the report, resign.
Yeah. Well, that's a contemplation for the party to take on. I mean, I believe that something needs to give. You can't have persons serving in the public arena who is subject to certain scrutiny established by the people of Jamaica, and you refuse to do it, then you have, if you have refused to do it, then you are refusing to serve the people, and you are refusing to obey the oath that you took. And so I believe that something needs to give, and I commend Mark Golding today for highlighting this matter again. And what the government side has done is really show to Jamaica that there is a problem.
Thank you.
Because they say throw a stone out, pen the first one ball out and get licked.
And the Prime Minister ball out.
So there's some balling out that took place, yeah.
And
it's a sad day.
Yes, it is a very sad day in the history of Jamaica, Mr. Member, former Member Hilton. But when you look at it, Mr. Hilton, the Jamaican people have not gotten a report from the Prime Minister stating how much he worth. He refused to do that. In which modern democracy, Mr. Hilton, that this can continue to happen, and the Prime Minister still says the Prime Minister for the country?
Yeah, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable, and we on the opposition side have said it on several occasions. Civil society, in their credit, has come out and have spoken about it. And I don't know if the government just don't have any shame, or they really do have something to hide. But it doesn't smell right. It doesn't look good, and it has weakened the Jamaica Labour Party's government quite a bit.
Yes.
Because they are losing the confidence that the Jamaican people had in them. They're losing that very fast. Evidenced by the local government elections, of course.
When other people look at this, Mr. Hilton, and saying that Jamaica is leading a charge to try and restore democracy in Haiti, don't you think people around the globe is saying that Jamaican government is a very hypocritical government, sir?
Well, if this thing hits the international press, which I'm sure it will in due time, it is going to be a blot on the Jamaican government, and of course it is bringing the Jamaican people into disrepute, because the diaspora can't feel proud, cannot feel good when their own prime minister in the country of their birth is unable to have his integrity commission certified. It doesn't look good that a wife and a husband runs two arms of the government. There are three pillars of government, and two of them is controlled by a wife and husband. That doesn't look good either. So it certainly is not. It is a bad day for the JLP. It is a bad day for Jamaica also.
This reminds me of Sri Lanka, former Member Hilton, where one family was running the entire Sri Lanka till Sri Lanka decided, the people of Sri Lanka decided enough of them, and they took to the streets.
Yes.
Mr. Hilton, thank you for coming on, sir. Thank you for taking my call at all times, sir. Thank you for coming on. And I hope, I pray and hope, but before that, the speech given by Mr. Mark Jefferson Golden to the people of Jamaica is a fiery speech. And the people of Jamaica has reached a point, Mr. Hilton, that they need an opposition leader. And tonight, or today rather, into tonight, the Jamaican people have seen a leader that they need to lead them, sir.
Absolutely. And I want to say before I leave you, Brother Jeffrey Tavares, that the work that you're doing in the diaspora is a most needed and timely work.
Thank you.
Whenever there are fundamental changes that happens in Jamaica, when we talked about forming of a political party, the Progressive League played a very important role, Domingo and others, who are the diaspora, who are fighting for bring back self-governance government to Jamaica. So I would like all your viewers and listeners to understand that not because they live abroad, live in New York and Canada and England and all over the world, as Jamaicans, it's your country, Nobody can deport you from Jamaica for your land, and when you decide to come back home to it, is yours. But whenever fundamental changes take place, the diaspora's always played a part. So I want to encourage you and encourage all your viewers and listeners to stand up for what is good for Jamaica. Whether you're a non-partisan person or you're a JLP or you're a PMP, once you're a Jamaican, right is right, and right and truth don't have no side. So I want to commend you and encourage you and your listeners and viewers to continue pushing so that we can transform Jamaica into becoming that country that people will be running to and not running from.
Indeed. Thank you very much.
Continue the good work. Have a good one, my friend.
Same to you, sir. Thank you very much. Former Member of Parliament,
Cheers.
Andre Hilton of the People's National Party. Thank you for coming on, sir. There you have it. We got a comment from the People's National Party. Thank you very much, Mr. Andre Hilton, a former member of the former Member of Parliament for the People's National Party. At least I get somebody to comment about what happened in the Parliament of Jamaica today. My fellow Jamaicans, both home and abroad, my fellow YouTubers, family members of the Make We Talk program. This we're going to say so long for tonight. If anyone want to call in before I go, you can make a quick call before I go. But I'm going to call it a night. We have been on it from 5 o'clock this evening. When the news came out, I decided to go live with it. And I want to say thanks to one of my producers who helped me with the program thing, the flyer rather, to come on. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for helping me with that. Jamaicans from all walks of life, as what Mr. Hilton said. It's a dark day in Jamaica's history. This has never happened before, where the government walk out on themselves. Never ever happened. All because you ask a prime minister questions about why his wife, who is the Speaker of the House, sitting down on a report. And Jamaicans are saying it does not look good for the wife to have a stronghold on one arm of government, and he as a prime minister have a stronghold on the other arm of government. And it begs to ask the question also, why the prime minister have 18 ministries under his watch? 18 ministries under his watch. That's the question we need to ask ourselves tonight. My fellow Jamaicans, home and abroad, thank you all for coming on. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'm going to play something that we all need to listen to. We all need to listen to this. Because the level of corruption in our country, the level of nepotism and the level of cronyism need to stop.
Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it now help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk.
There you have it. As long as it affects the life of every Jamaican, we will continue fighting for a better Jamaica. Continue fighting for the life of Jamaicans. For the voice of Jamaicans who is unable to speak. And we'll leave you with the words of the late John Lewis before we leave with the words of KD Knight.
You, Prime Minister,
should pack your bags and go. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. All right, Mr. Small. You, Prime Minister, should pack your bags and go. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. All right, Mr. Small. You, Prime Minister, should pack your bags and go. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. All right, Mr. Small.
Thank you all very much for coming on. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you all very much. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Until you hear my voice again with an exciting program, may God bless you, and may God continue to bless Jamaica land we love. And may we continue to fight the fight as Jamaicans. Have a great night, everyone.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk, people. When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk.